So what it is here's your wave one, down and two, up and three. Now we're gonna watch this fourth wave to see if we could complete five smaller waves within this three, right? We need five. And then after that, then this fourth wave will come into a play. So there's always going to be a tricky. Now, is it all third wave ends here? We don't know yet. Okay, it's too early to say it. If, how do you know if this is the larger fourth wave and a higher degree is starting versus compared to this one? This one has to fail first, meaning that if this thing is going to start coming like this, yeah, this is you gotta have to go with this one. You know, you don't want this one to get too big. So we're gonna measure this one with this price one with this wave too. Okay, so we'll see. I mean, it's too early to say. Um, if this smaller degree wave four, okay, starting to, we'll see what happens next week. I mean, it's closed at where 76. So we're right here in this zone. As long as this zone holds, okay, and then we'll look for silver to make one more push to the upside, okay, toward this area. This is where the rejection happened. Why is that? Because you have this 200% right there, which is three versus one. This is what I put the red box over here. I told you many, many times before, I hardly use red boxes on a wavecon. When I do, you gotta pay attention to that zone. The reason why being is like you have to look at this way from the $16 up into this wave one down into this is 200% extension. Then you have this 200% extension of this wave three, and then you have the 161.8. This is a very, uh, you know, strong area for the price to stop right in between here. So it made it up to 109, you know, because it just went so crazy. So yesterday ended the week with a huge outside reversal bar. That's what they call it, which is the outside weekly bar. That doesn't mean that this is a sell, there's a sell signal. We don't have it because we need confirmation, right? So we'll see now in the next week or two to see if this fourth wave was man can can slow down, because that's what it's fourth wave. It just slows down the entire move up. It just has to take a little bit of a pause. So we're gonna watch this to see how the next week goes and a week after that and stuff, because it's gonna take time. You can't just We're not fighting daily time frame and stuff. Higher time frame is always gonna give you a much cleaner read on a wave count, so we're not trying to fight time every single day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna watch this this smaller wave forward to see if it can manage to hold this zone, and then from here it can make a push higher. Now what's gonna happen is, if you notice this, you see how huge this wave one was all the way up to 200. So this wave five right there is not gonna have an equal relationship. Okay, when you have an extended wave one, your wave five is gonna be shorter. So keep that thing in mind. Usually, like when you had a wave count, the wave five has an equal distance travel in wave one, right? Because these are impulse. The wave one, three, and five, they're motive wave. Wave two and four, they're corrective wave. So this corrective wave trends against this move. And now this fourth wave right there is a counter trend move against wave three, right? So we'll see what happens. I'll just leave it here for now. And then week after, 2, 3 weeks and stuff, then we'll have a much clearer idea. If this thing's starting to come down even more, then we just have to adjust this wave count, basically have to put a 3 here, and then we're just gonna look for this retracement. I'm not gonna do that yet until we have a sell signal first. We don't have a sell signal, so I'm not gonna entertain one higher degree to the downside without any confirmation. That's not how I look at them. Um, so that's the story of silver. I mean, we can throw channel if you like. We can do that. Take this high, connect to this top right there, draw a parallel line. I'm sorry, the parallel line projected from this wave too low, so it ends around here. So there's a lot of support around here as well. So we'll see. It's just one big shakeout always is gonna makes everybody. I mean, silver went up. I mean, I'm gonna from here 578%, and people screaming about an 8% drop. You look at the run for 178 weeks. The little bar right there shows 170 bars, which is 178 weeks. And everybody getting a panic attack because one week it came down from the high is gonna stop the same bar right there. It's not from the high is off like 27%. So yeah, I mean metals are always gonna be, they're always they're more volatile. Same with the Bitcoin, so commodities are always gonna be volatile. So no, we'll see what happens if either this holds or we'll open up this one. The best thing is this, what you have to watch, okay? You have to just watch this, okay? What is this here is this white lines right there that you see. This is the time cycle, okay? The price is gonna breathe and it's gonna stay in between this time zone, okay? So starting next week, okay? So you're gonna start noticing these three white lines pretty much in every chart. Any stock that we will trade and any of the stock that we're watching, okay? So you're gonna watch these three white. I have to manually put them on because this little whatever the Thinkorswim doesn't have any cycles and stuff. It's just a cheap version of software because it's free, that's why. Um, the high advanced technicals, you have to spend thousands of dollars to look at the price and analyze it way differently than just cheap version of these trading views and all these other I don't know, 10,000 different softwares out there. They're all free, that's what it is. You open up the account, they give you the access of free charts. So basically what it is, this is silver. Silver is basically the top right now with the time is 91.76, mid is 61, and the bottom right now is 54. Now here is a key thing you have to remember, okay? Time cycle is not a signal. This is the price, this is the time. The weekly lines that you see right there, they're not gonna change much. They're probably gonna move by like a point on Monday when the market opens. Okay, this is a cycle. It's gonna stay where it is. That's the beauty of that thing. What we're looking for is to trade between the cycle. It tells you where the price is. Any throw over will mean revert back inside the cycle. Same thing to the downside. Now you have to understand this thing that this is the weekly chart. 1 week, 5 daily candles makes one weekly bar. So when you're looking at this, I don't care about daily charts or 1 hour charts or 2 hour charts. Okay, you get a lot of fake outs on those time frames. I've been talking about a weekly time frame pretty much every day, and I'm gonna be keep pounding you with the same thing. It's gonna keep reminding you that thing. You have much clear read on a price. Okay, there's no. This is not a short like swings like a like you sit and trying to scalp a few points, and you have to go into a much lower time frame. You have to adopt a totally different strategy to see like, well, I want to get rich over a one single session. I want to try to catch this top and I want to sell this, so you want to go to a much slower. So the lower time frame is just because you're trying to trade the noise. Okay, for swing trading or investing, you need to focus on this one. This one is going to give you a much clear read. Okay, not going to give you a like a fake signals either. Daily is a lot of whipsaws as well, you know. So it takes a lot of time. It has weekly charts has a lot of alpha. Okay, weeks after weeks after weeks is just as the bottom line is as long as the signal holds. Okay, I mean price will make its way up. So the point is what I'm trying to make is you're gonna pay attention to these three white lines. Okay, you see like got a throw over here, but we don't know what the throw. You're not gonna go out too much just because the time right there is gonna stop that. It's gonna do its job. So this range right now, what you're looking for, okay, as where the cycle starts sits right now at the moment is between 61 and 91. That's your range right now. Okay. So if well now you're not gonna have a sell signal over a one candle either. So if is gonna get a sell signal, so you're looking for for almost to come down to a midpoint. Usually what happens is when the price goes up, it mean reverts and it comes down back toward the midpoint. If the mid breaks, it's gonna come down to the trough. In a cycle, the top is called crest, the bottom is called trough, and that's called the mid band. That's the mid right there. That's all we gotta have to watch. Okay, so the the biggest pain in the ass for me is that I have to manually plot this thing here. I have on in here it's all here. Like you see this band right there, the top, mid, and bottom one. It's on Bitcoin. Look what the Bitcoin is doing for the last 3 months. See it with this the little wick right there. See this green line right there? That's the midpoint. Where do you think the price is sitting for the last 3 months? Right at the mid. Because it's chewing time right now. Because it has to complete time. One, it will complete its time by the certain day or month, then the price will make a move. It's not always about the price. That's what everybody is chasing, because everybody focuses on that thing all the time. So it's the same thing here on like, let me show you. Here's Costco, right? Costco came down here, touched that 855 lower band at the time, right? Made a move back up toward the mid. There comes the buy signal. You're gonna get a buy signal here as soon as the price is gonna come close. A week, 2, 3 weeks is gonna happen. The signal is gonna trigger. Came up, touched this mid, crest, look at the rejection. Even the fact that the price can come out a little bit more, but it will back off. It's just not gonna go too far. So that's always gonna be your range. So if you say like, well, I want to buy something, but I don't want to wait for for confirmation and a signal. If you want to say like, well, I like this stock and I want to buy it, you can target the midpoint. Buy like a 6, 7, 8 months out leaps. You're gonna make something. I mean, I do it, some like it's just a matter of waiting. I mean, if you have 7, 8 months worth of a spread working for you, I mean, you got all the time in the world. Even if you can catch one good week out of this bottom right there, you're still gonna make money. You can close the trade and walk away. If you want to wait for a confirmation for a signal, well, that's a different thing. Okay, but signal usually triggers right at the bottom of the signal, the time frame. So there's a lot of examples right now. So now you look at Microsoft, right? Look at the Microsoft time band. Where is that right now? 433, 493, 534, right? Price came up here, made a high right there with a huge wick, fake wick right there. See how the price closes inside the channel. Tried here, backed off. Tried another here, backed off. So you need to understand one thing, that the price can make a move higher, but you need to, and this is where you have to de-risk, kind of like light up. If you're in a position, you need to light up the risk right there. So basically what it is, they said that you have to sell premiums as soon as you reach this point, if you're coming up from here. It adjusted. I mean, we're looking at months and months back price action, but right now, this is where the price stands. Now you say like, well, I want to buy Microsoft because I'm dying to buy Microsoft. Okay, well, if you're dying to buy Microsoft, then you open up a spread of 430 or 435, and then you target some of these upside. Or you say like, well, I want to go, like you want to go out 8 months on time. Let's say 10 months worth of a lead that you want to buy like a 495. That's the mid. Sooner or later, the price is going to come right back. It's going to hit this midpoint. It's going to take weeks. Keep that thing in mind because this is a weekly time frame. So it can take several months. So is it better to wait for the confirmed buy signal? But it's going to take another couple weeks. Once a new structure will form, it will trigger a new buy signal. And then from there, you have a much better, have a much better odds, or have a good probability that the price will go and hit the mid band. The Mag 7s, they trade really well around the time frame, so not all stocks is going to be perfectly aligned with this. It just all depends on the liquidity of the stock, the volume and things like this. So that matters. So here's Nvidia. So Nvidia right now is at 184, 204, and 157. And this is what Nvidia has been doing. It got a sell signal, right? So it has a sell signal since November 10th. And what it's doing, it's just been chopping and chewing time around here, around the midpoint. So the Nvidia upside right now is at 204. It doesn't mean that Nvidia cannot go up higher. If it does, if that happens, it will mean revert back inside again. So the point is, that's what I'm trying to make here, is that the price will not stay out and stay out of the cycle for too long. It will mean revert. So whatever target that you think, well, people sit in here calling that NVIDIA is going to 260, NVIDIA is going to 300. No, no, it is not. When the time cycle will adjust to that level, then we'll talk about it. Yeah, we're not going to entertain any kind of upside because it looks beautiful on a chart. That's not how technicals work. This is the most easy and simple screen that you're going to read every single day. Time, price, signal. That's it. There's nothing else. And you just wait. If signal holds, fine. It can invalidate, of course, and the price can push all the way back up here to 211 since the sell signal is no longer valid. Basically, what's the next signal comes after sell is the buy signal because you had a buy here, now you had a sell here. Okay, so a session, two sessions goes by, a price can dip down. That doesn't mean anything. You're looking at a wrong time frame. Weekly chart doesn't behave like a daily chart. Okay, so those Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays, all in one candle right there. So it doesn't matter if now the thing is like if I switch the time frame into a daily time frame, well then the time cycle will change. So you make a choice now is what time do you want to choose? Trade on. Okay, the cycle works from daily, weekly, monthly. Where how you identify a trend based on a weekly time frame. Where does the structure breaks on a weekly time frame? Where the structure builds on a weekly time frame. Weekly is the most important time frame in trading. Keep that thing in mind. People are too obsessed over a 5 minute chart because they're different style of trading, which I get that. There's millions of people sitting doing day trading every day. If you want to go that route, well, I mean, go for it. You know, put in 10, 15, $20,000 buying 25 cents worth of a premium, which is, the ones which had 20 deltas. They're trying to see like if that 20 cents turns into a 40 cents, a 45 cents, a 50 or 60 or whatever. That's what they're hoping for. The probability for those trades are very, very low. Okay, because the option that you're trying to buy, it only has 20 deltas. You only have a 20% probability for that premium to go in the money. So how many do you have to play in order to get lucky? Unless you sit in and say like, hey, if I'm buying 20 cents worth of a premium and if it can go up to 30, yeah, and I can just simply close the trade. So if you just if so that's their point, that's what their style is. They're like scalping couple pennies. They put quite a bit of risk to fight the negative theta right from the start because you're buying a garbage 20 cents premium and then you're hoping that the move happens as quick as possible. Otherwise, if you end up holding a 20 cents premium overnight, well, you next day you toast if the stock opens flat. So let's go back here to QQQ. So where we at right now? This is where we at. 611, 642, which is higher than 637, and all the way down here, 547. So it's kind of, you have a lot more room to the downside, right? So from the last 3 months, right, since this October high, tech is doing what? Nothing, right? It doesn't mean that the uptrend is lost or if there's a broken trend or something, or it's not, right? All we're doing right now is the market is just literally went sideways. Why it went sideways is because of this move of this April low. It has to digest, it has to slow down. That's what it is. It's just literally market just literally took a pause. 3 months means is what? One full quarter. That's a lot of time, I know. So that's why everybody portfolios are going up and down. Like this is called we call like a kangaroo market. It's not steady run because people had made their money here. So the price has what? Expansion. What is this? Compression. So now if we're sitting here, well, like, okay, yeah, this is the top. Oh, yeah, we're just gonna buy puts. I mean, if that kind of a mindset, right? It costs people tons of money because you just sitting and just assuming and thinking like, yeah, like, I'm just hoping for a miracle to happen. It's not what the screen is telling you, right? What is the screen is telling you? It's a sideways price action. Then we track rotation. We'll look for a max 7 to see what the strength we can find, where the weakness is. We need those leaders to sweep this upside volatility. If that happens, we'll look at the upside on the time cycle, the 642. So can we get an overthrow? Yeah, we will. Yeah, we can. It depends on the volume. But the price is going to mean revert back inside anyways. So call it right now. Your upside is pretty much capped at 642. That's what it is for the last 3 months. And Q's made a high at what, 637. Hadn't poked above 642 like silver did, like some of the other stocks did. So these are we're gonna I'm not throwing a bunch of trades yet because you have to understand one thing that any new position that you take on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever, you're taking a full earning risk with that, right? And you don't expect those stocks to explode when they're coming too close to their earning date as well. Stocks just not gonna move much. Yeah, I hate these quarterly earnings to be honest. Yeah, I like the Trump idea just to change that thing into a 6 months. You just get rid of this 3 months window. Every quarter, all these companies has to report numbers. Turn them into a 6 months. It slows down. I mean, I I'm not worried about trades. Don't get. I mean, all I have to do is just run a scan. Is this thing's gonna like? I want to go to a S&P 100 and I want to do to a S&P 200 index. More I can spend it to an S&P 500. Run the whole 500 stocks. It will filter right away. And I'm just not comfortable throwing risk until we have this earning mess to be over. You can be in a you could be right, if it has a good signal there and if earnings are coming up in next 3 days, I mean stock can pop. But it's just the risk that you're willing to take on that is crazy. You're just looking to pay a little bit higher premium as well because the IV is elevating as well because the earning date is approaching. So I mean, technically, if you look at the time, the market is just not going anywhere, as you can see right there. The last 3 months, it just literally went sideways. So I mean, the only I've done pretty much all the Mag 7, silver, gold. I did all those so far. For me, it's much easier. I can just only look at this screen. I don't have to really um, do much. So it's the same thing here. You see 642, 611, and this. So it's much easier for me here. I can just look at this versus making this. So, but for you don't have those, which is fine. That's all you need. That's all you need. Because you need to understand one thing that this is not going to change like, oh, the 611 is going to become 586 on Monday. No, that's supposed to stay there. That's the point for it. Okay, that's because that's the time cycle. That's where the price is going to dance around between that band. It's a very clear system. We're gonna do well this year. Don't stress out over a chop or yeah, it's okay. It happens. I mean, we made money. On the way up here. I mean, everybody's kind of chopping around here, which is normal technically. The trend has to take a bit of a pause. Well, how much more is going to go up? If it's going to even, I'm sorry, if it's going to keep going up and up, well, it's going to back off at somewhere, some point, but that doesn't mean that the structure break or, that, I mean, we don't have cell signals here that actually cell signal triggers when the structure breaks. It's giving you that confirmation, thinking like, okay, yes, now it's time to de-risk and book profits if you in and say like, okay, I'm gonna light up my position and look at the price. It's like, okay, well, I'm right here and what my what my time cycle is showing me right now and what I can expect. These are pretty well-defined targets as well. So there's so I'm doing one by one. So this is Meta right here. Same thing, what Meta has been doing since November. Hasn't really touched down here, but came pretty close, right? That's the mid right there, 677. So the crest right there is 774, right? So what happens here? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, made up to 790. See, backed off. Then came back up again, backed off again. So if you sit in and thinking, "No, Meta is going to 900, Meta is going to $1,000," I hate to say it, you're an idiot. Okay, it's just not how you just throw imaginary numbers, thinking like, yeah, the prices. No, if the time cycle will adjust over the weeks, will take us to those number. Yeah, then we will talk about that. Okay, it doesn't mean that the price is just gonna. If the price does manage to go up, it will mean revert back inside anyways. It's not gonna stay out for too long. That I can tell you that. Okay, so starting Monday, the only thing is like I I did all the Mag 7 so far. I'm working on it just what I do is just like when there is some sort of a new buy signal triggers, then I can just manually put these three lines in. So I have to basically have to copy it from the other software. So once I'll put them in here, okay, well, it's just gonna stay there. Okay, so worst case is that it can change to 678 next week. And that's pretty much about it. It's not gonna change like significantly. It's like all of a sudden the entire thing got changed. No, months, weeks, and months can go by. Price is gonna just stay in between here. I can tell you that. Any kind of a throwover, expect for the mean reward back inside. Okay. So with Costco, the same thing right there. So I don't know how many there's random some stocks I didn't do this one, Palantir. So I'm gonna get on that one. That's just it's a broken structure here. Yeah, see, it's just look at the run it has. It's just now it's just cooling off. There's another stock I looked at it yesterday, that EPP they call it. I don't know what is that. This one getting hit hard. This one has a double sell signal. This one has on a daily as well. This one has a very strong sell signal right there in this stock. This one is at, and I think on a daily is in the same, yeah, right there. Here you go. Look at that. Daily has a 705.39. Weekly has 705.39. That's one of a kind, what you call it. Remember, I always talk about those the double buys. They're very hard to find. This is the double sell right there. This is one of a kind as well. When the weekly and a daily they both hit with the same time frame on a same price, those are one of the strongest sell signals you can ever find, or the buy signal. But they're very hard to match though. If because I run daily and weekly scanners, and when the result shows up and when I see a same stock pops on a both time frame, yeah, those are the ones that I don't leave them alone. But those you're looking at probably like, I don't know, 2-3% odds. Yeah, it doesn't happen that because it's a two different time frame. So this one is and a has a very strong. That's why the stock is reacting so bad. I think the stock took like what, 17% hit yesterday. Yeah, because of the double sell. That's why it would be a double buy. Yeah, it would be a same rip to the upside. On what I would have catch it. So Amazon, okay, same thing. Upside capped at 258, right, which is right at the high right there. Is where the price backed off, as you can see right there. Mid is 230, down is 205. So from the last since November, no, it's just Amazon has just been sideways. You see, if you notice right there how different the price looks when you go and when you look at the price on a weekly time frame. No noise, right? No like fake wicks, on a daily time frame. It's a totally different view. It's a one clean read. You sit here. This is the entire. This is all you need to trade. You don't need anything else. Oh, there's a lot behind the screen, but this is all you need to trade. This is what that's how I don't need any wave counts and stuff. I'll make wave count. Don't get me wrong. Whenever I have chance, I can always, I will, I'll make the wave count to see if how the fibs looks and things like this. But you really don't have to rely on that on on any kind of wave count when you just have this. You have a price around time. That's all you need. I always wanted this thing all these years is how the price behaves, trades, okay, inside the time band. This is not some like a Bollinger Band or something with those volatility and stuff. That's has nothing to do with that. I just always had that thing like, okay, well, here's a price on a weekly time frame. I want to know what cycle we're in. So you basically take the price, you're wrapped around it with the time frame. That's what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna do all the other ones. I think what we have did. Hang on. Yeah. So here's Apple, right? Apple had a sell signal. Upper band on the time frame is 289. High is 288.62. Mid is 262. The bottom is 236. Right? This is where we at. So we closed yesterday at almost 260. So we're right, he's right there. So it end up spending 2 weeks to the downside, as you can see, and it's trying to make a move back toward the mid price. This is where the time is right there, the mid band right there. So what does that mean here? So consider as neutral, right? Same thing with the Qs are doing right now. And all Nvidia is doing the same thing. Amazon doing, so it's been chopping around here, close to the mid band. The worst case, if because it has a sell signal, so you always have to be aware of this thing that there is a pretty good chance that the price can come back down toward the 236 kind of area, right to this time frame, to this level. But that number right there is not a price you just consider as a target. So don't get yourself confused over that. Okay? There, I mean, there are good ways to structure a trade, but you know, if the price does come back down toward this lower band, Apple is a very steady stock. Okay, as we all know that. So it's not gonna overshoot like a crazy, and I mean, what happens back here, I mean, the time cycle was probably sitting somewhere down here, but it shifted over time, right? Over the months. So it's gonna move, but it's gonna move like a point, like 2 points max. It can move on a weekly basis. It's not gonna move much. So keep that thing in mind. So any stock that you're trading right now, I'm going to give you the stock's a little bit more volatile, right? Because it has earnings, it had news flows and things like this. So a lot of them they overshoot. A lot of them they, on either direction. Indexes are more steady, like ETF especially, they don't see like a crazy volatilities and things like this. So the point is this is when the price overshoot, you're gonna expect that in the next week, 2 or 3 tops, the price will mean revert back inside. Okay. So, oh, don't expect like, oh, I have 340 target. I will open the upside on any stock, anything that you're looking. But the time has to give me that. It has to shift to the upside to mark that kind of a move toward the upside. So keep that thing in mind. As you can see, I can show you hundreds and hundreds of different charts. Okay, what these stocks, but I'm trying to show you, especially these Mag 7, because these are the most steady stocks. Okay, you can see how price travels around this band over weeks and months, even a full quarter or so. Calculate time just from here, back from September, right? Take this low, here's the high. Look what the price is doing, just right in between here. That's your zone. You can look at we did Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Meta. We did. So I mean, I'm doing all these one by one. So I'm gonna do. Here's Oracle. I think I have it or no? No, I don't. See, let's see what this big looks like. So we go back here. There's a weekly here. We can put Oracle here. There you go. You see now it has a big overshoot. But that doesn't mean that this is a buy here because we need a signal, right? So what are the levels here? 181. So what we do here is we just make this thing small so I can see. So we take throw three lines. One, two, three. So put this, oops. And then what do we do? I'm keeping it white because it's easier to see. Change that thing here. Now we're gonna put values here. 295.04. We're gonna take a mid. We're gonna throw at 234.29. I mean, I don't have to put pennies. You can just whatever. I'm just matching what it shows here. And then what we can do is open this one, turn into a white, and 181.33. There you go. So that's Oracle. So now what we need to do, we don't have to do anything to it. Leave the way. Now we know what we can see the price, right? And we know what the time band is right there. So now this week, the first time we actually had an official close below the 181.33 mark. Okay. The very first time it came here, right? It got a, you can see right there, you see the wick, and then it managed to kind of move up, went sideways, another huge kind of some sort of a doji here. Then it just, as you can see right there, it's just because there's no confirmed buy signal. From here to see we can make the case of this 234, right? So the price not gonna go toward the mid band without a buy signal. So either one of these weeks, okay, there's gonna be a new buy signal will come. Then what we will do that we will see if we can target the mid band, which is right there, 234, right? Because we're gonna see if the price can make its way move back up. Again, we don't have a confirmed buy signal yet because this is a broken structure, as you can see. Now, if you says like, well, I end up by getting a buy signal, but I'm gonna pay a higher entry, okay? I know the lower band right there, the 181, prices at 164. So it's definitely a bargain to buy something, right? I can tell you one thing that if on Monday, if you decide to open, I mean, I don't know how much the premium is going to look like. If you open up let's say a one contract, okay, by like 10 months, 8 months, okay, that's a lot of time, anyways, just to be on a safe side so you don't have to suffer the theta. Let's say you open up a spread of 180 and 230. I can tell you from my experience, it will have a 95% chance that you're going to make money. It doesn't mean that you're going to have you expecting the thing to max out. You're going to make at least 5 to 10% return on the money. Even if the price can move from here to 181, you can just simply close the trade. So you can do, I do it. I I take these kind of a trades. I actually have few open, so it's because you have so much time, you just got to wait it out. I'm not looking for a monster move run on those, just trying to see if I can make 5-10% return on that money. That's all. The premium what I paid for it. So it's like a little short swing trade, but sooner or later price is gonna mean revert back inside anyways. It will. Now we're gonna have to see like, okay, is it gonna go another week out? Well, let's what happens here. Came up here to 295. Huge wick. You can see right there, went all the way to 345, right? Look at the reversal back here in the same week. It closes here. It made another move. Another week. Look where it's closed. Look how that time right there pretty much caps the upside for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. That's the beauty of this thing, though. How price behaves around that thing and then how it mean reverts. It's not following the news. Well, stock has its own. It's going to follow the news and whatever. These upgrades are coming, downgrades are coming, and like all these different phases, like all the stuff that we get to hear every single day. They're investing this much in there, they're doing this one, and the earnings are coming. So it's just like it's all there's always something when it comes to a stock, always a big surprise. I mean, a lot of people you know, get killed on some sort of a downgrade or earnings or some news or whatever, and some of them they get, super lucky catching a really nice solid move back to the upside. So it works out both ways. It can come and bite you, and it can. What was the stock that trade with ARM, right? Look at the ARM, like was I picked it up on a scanner. Look how it backed off. Totally wiped off everything. If you go here to the daily time frame, look at that. It just, I mean, it pays, right? Because on I trimmed this one is because of the daily band that I was watching. So I took this trade because it pops up on a scanner. I don't have that here. It paid, I mean, right there, you see? So we caught this move right there. I think it was last week or so we did the trade. And look at that reversal. Yeah, just I mean, I do watch the daily time frame, how the price is trading. Um, but daily has a, a big shift sometimes in some of these crazy stocks. So I pay attention more on this time frame, you know, much cleaner read. Oh, these are the pivots. So these are the much cleaner. I don't have them here, but if we go back here to this, gotta change it back to the weekly time. There you go. You see what the price is sitting here. Tested here on January 16th, closed here. This was the move that we caught right there with the trade that we did on a daily time frame. And this week right there, see, came right back down. So it's just like sitting here. That's the beauty of this thing. What else you can ask for? Back here was a pretty big, huge throw over to the downside, but look how price came right back inside. It tried to get cute back here. Look how it backs off. So all of these price that you will see on the chart, you will expect when the price overshoot, depends on the volume and things like that. You're gonna expect that in the next week or two, the price will come back inside. It's not going to that 250 or 260. It doesn't shift that much. Look what the price is doing right here. Kind of range bound. Very good butterfly strategies you can do around here. You know, set up a structure a butterfly around here. On the upper side, you can structure a butterfly here. It's just there's many ways you can do that. We will just hang on, slow your horses a little bit. That's all. We'll trade. Looking at Qualcomm right there. I'm watching this one. Look at where it just tested this week. So I'm watching. So now you say like, well, I like Qualcomm. Okay, we want to buy Qualcomm, open up a 160, 170 call spread, go out further on time. I'd rather take a confirmed buy signal to target this, you know. But if you're too bored and I want to see if I can catch a week or two of a price action, you can do it. I mean, if the price does manage to come back down, well, you can handle 5, 6, 7 points if it comes back, but it will mean revert back inside anyways. So without confirmation, yeah, I mean, okay, yes, there's you taking a risk. You can make some, money. I mean, in a couple days, week, 2 or 3, pay you something. You're not gonna. So it's right there in the bottom. Well, what happens here, as you can see, look at the rejection. So it's very weak stock. It's just I don't know. The story is a pretty oversold RSI as well. 22 down 11% for the year. So yeah, I'm doing one by one. So gonna see then any new like I mean, it depends on a scanner, and then eventually, I'll catch up. Once I'll put them here on a weekly time frame, once I'll have their line, I mean, they're not gonna change much. I don't really have to. If this thing shifts back to 151 or 152, doesn't mean I have to change the whole line. You can live off, 1, 2 point doesn't make a difference. It's not gonna change much. I know that. So it's just supposed to stay there the way it is. It's a very good way to trade. And you can see how the price behaves. Here's S&P, here's S&P. Upside is at 7,047. Mid band is 67.78 as of right now. Last week we tested it, as you can see right there. Got this bounce back up. So we're right in this zone. This is your zone. Upside is pretty much capped at 7,047. Mid is at 67.78. There's no sell signal. Still had this buy signal off this low right there. And I just keep climbing up. It's slowing down, as you can see. It seems like, okay, we have a 30-point session and then next day we have a 5, 10 point. It depends how the weekly candle closes. In the end, that matters. Close is everything. You don't assume a running candle. Somebody was asking yesterday about the price that okay, let's say if this I have a chart that I give you, like yesterday was silver, right? Give you pretty it was it's like watch the 70, what was it, 70.81 was the level on that 1 hour chart that we're watching. So the price is here. So I was like, okay, watch this. Why is this? Because I was looking at this 1 hour and then I'm looking at the 50-day moving average and a daily time frame is sitting at the same number. I was like, that level's gonna hold. So here comes the next hour. So it came back here, tested it, and here comes a new hour opens here. Okay, well, the price comes down here to 69. The price came down to 69. That doesn't mean that this thing is gone. It can came down to 68. It can come down to 67. But this level right there, you have to wait for the close to confirm what is. You have to wait for 1 full hour. A price. This is a pretty strong fib, but I showed you because there was a 200% fib extension. I was like, I don't think it's going to break that quick without some sort of a bounce. So 70 right there, and then the upper read right there was 75. I know that. And then price came down to like another point. So just wait for the close. So don't assume that the price dips down like this and then they go, yeah, the level is just toast. No, that's not how it works. You don't sit and like think that way. It's just you have to wait for the close. You have to see exactly what the close is, then you will see exactly what the body of the candle looks like. Okay, so from here, then the price went right back to 75. There was a excellent 5 point kind of scalp right there, if just to catch just a quick pop. I don't know where the close is. I'd have just, yeah, you always have to wait for the close. Okay. All the scripts that I have written, all the work that I have done over the years, you cannot script anything based on the open or the high and the low. Every single one of these scripts are basically in the end is going to give you close only. That's where the line chart comes into a play. Why the line charts are the most accurate charts when it comes to a price? Huh? Why is that? Come on. Open. Here's an S&P. So here's a line chart. Here. Why the line chart is the most accurate chart when it comes to a price? It doesn't have those highs and lows. It only has the close. It doesn't have those wicks, those shakeouts. This is the most accurate read of the price. It's based on a close. You can change that if you want to see a different way. Let's see, you want to do an open, you can do the high, you can do the low. The price will shift to a median price. Want to do an average price. I don't care none of that stuff. I want this. I want to know what the close was. So what do we do here now? We take this, put time around it. There you go. That's all you need to trade. What do you think the price has been doing over the year and so? You think the price is gonna go out too far? I don't think so. What we're watching, it's this. Here's your April low, big overshoot. See, mean reward right back inside, right there. See it? You expect this. I understand that people, well, even me, I mean, I'm looking for 7,500. That's what I'm looking for, a 7,500 target to the upside. 7,500 target is not coming anytime soon. Well, making a case of that 7,500, we need that band to shift more to the upside in the coming weeks and months. There's absolutely makes zero sense for me to make a call here like S&P is going to 7,500. Absolutely not. I don't give nobody opinions. I don't sit and call tell people, hey, this is where we're going. Absolutely not. You watch the screen. That's all you need to watch. Let those other people on a Twitter give you all the hope. They know nothing. That's all you need. Somebody would ask you like, hey, what is the upside what would be the expected upside target for an S&P? Call them 7,046. Call it 7,050 just round it off. That's the max upside. If the price does come and hit that, it's gonna mean that we're back. It's gonna back off anyways. It can overshoot. It's just not gonna stay out for too long. It's just a reasonable target. What is my downside target? 67, 78. So this is where we at right here. We tested here back in November, right? We had a 5 to 5% dip right there. Made a move back up. We keep making higher highs and higher lows. Trend is intact. No sell signal. Yeah, it just keep chopping around. Tech is sideways for the last 3 months. So how S&P is going to roll over without a tech? Okay, we can look at the NDX. Same deal. Got cute here. Reversed. Reversed. Right in the middle. So that's the mid of this high and at this low. Sorry, this close and at this close. The line only move based on a close when the session closes. It's not moving during the day. So upside is what? 26,415. That's quite a bit of upside. How much is it? Let's measure it. So from here to here, 3.5% so far. So from the current close to this is almost 3.5. To the mid is 1.75 right there. All the way down here will be 11.74. This is where you need a massive spike in volatility for this thing to come into a play. That will take weeks after weeks when the structure breaks and we're gonna get sells. We're gonna see sell signal across the board, and then pressure, panic, world is ending. Gonna be an excellent buying opportunity there, anyways. I'll just look for a move back up. I'm indexes they snap right back up pretty fast. Good stuff, huh? There's the cues. 642, 611. That's your range. That's the range has been from the last 3 months. That's 621 right now. Yeah, there's upside here. It doesn't mean it because the structure has not broken. Once the structure break, yeah, then we're gonna start looking down. you know? The most important thing you have to watch is this. You see this timing band right here is rising. That's the key thing that you have to watch. When the structure breaks weeks after weeks of weakness in a stock, the time will start shifting. It's going to start taking a curve. That's when the stock loses its upside momentum, period, for a very long time. I'll give you an example here. MSTR. You see the curve? It was a rising band, right? The time cycle, time when the time rises up, that's when it opens up the price weeks after weeks to the upside. When the stock is going to start taking a hit, you see how this time cycle is shifting lower? It's just lost. It's a lot of there's upside momentum now. It's going to take months, probably years now for this thing to turn around. It's not that bad, but just look at the downside 134, look at the mid 228. So any kind of a upside move or whatever, I mean, this thing is pretty much capped right here around like 200, 228 area. Which is quite a bit of an upside if you do the math. From here to here is 53% move, right? The stock lost 50% last year. So the point what I'm trying to make is you're not gonna see this thing, okay? You don't have to like be, I'm just showing you just to see to just to for you, like to get an idea like how does the time shifts around the time around the price over time. You don't want to have a downshift on that thing. It's just not a good sign. It's losing all the upside momentum when the time shifts like this. There are few stocks are like that. They're doing it. I watch them all the time. I mean, you see CRM right there. What we want is what you want to see is this. It's when the time rises along with the price that gives you that upside momentum right there. When you have this slope turning like this, you just losing all the upside. It's just gonna take a long time for this thing to slowly shift like this, because we're looking at the weekly time frame, which is the most accurate time frame for any structure, for any signal, whatever you see, it's gonna take a long time for this thing to shift back up. You don't want to, that is a very, very important thing. It doesn't mean that we cannot play a move from here to here. Of course we can. A buy signal is going to trigger somewhere around here. I'll try to target, see if I can get to the midpoint. We can take that trade. I mean, I can hunt for those trades all day long. But making a case like this, I mean, yeah, the price can still reach this part, the upper band right there as well. But you have to understand that this price right there, look how much it came back from the top, because the time is shifting lower now. So it's just losing momentum to the upside. And you don't want that. Well, it's not up to you to decide, but this is what the screen shows. Okay? We don't decide anything. So yeah, this is a very, very important. There's few stocks are like that. They're just making a really huge shift to the downside. Yeah, I'm just, every stock is different. Cannot be the same, um, be a same thing. I don't know, man. There's honey right there. See, overshoot, hit the upper band, backed off again. It trades pretty well around, and now I got an overshoot right there. So now you can see the price is at 227. The top crest is the 220, 220. Now you give another week, two, depends, nobody can decide that. You'll see the price is going to back off. It will. Just wait another week or two to see what happens. It's pretty much capped. It's trying to be in a hero right now to see if I can. It managed to go up 7 points, but it's just, you know, it's time to just book profits. And if you had the trade open, and it's like, okay, well, it was a beautiful trade. That's it. This thing is not shifting like, yeah, the honey is going to 300. And no, we don't have that. You're not going to make a 70 point, 80 point call from 220 to 300. We don't have that. Going to that, going to that print, so you can see what the heck happened before. It hits that thing right, overshoot right there, and then week two, 3 weeks later, just reverse back, makes a move back lower. Or APP time though. You can write this thing down, and maybe I have to do it manually on that. So here you have 526, 617. I wouldn't do this for now because it has a very strong sell signal, on a weekly and a daily time frame. So just mark these two for now. 526, 617, and 778 is the top, which was that here was 685. Now this, so the high is, what the high is? No, the high here was 745. Reading the banner there, 7673 though. Okay. So you just wash this one. It doesn't mean what, I mean, if again, you have to look at one thing is a stock has a sell signal, right? And a weekly time frame and a daily time frame. Now you see that the price undershoot the 526 time band. Now is at 474, right? The structure is broken on a weekly time frame, right? It has a lot of pressure because of two time frames are, got hit at the same time. So you can watch and see what happens. But the point is that whatever the next support is in trying to hold, what I have to look at the chart to see if there is a potential there for the stock to find support there. It should have an at least and an upside is at 526. So if you could target 500 and 525, that would be your upside target for now. But we need to find a potential support first, but you have to understand one thing is that you fighting a sell signal, all you're trying to do is playing a very short term trade. Okay. So for any kind of a mean reversion for the trade like this, you have to look at a 500 and a 520. That's what I don't trade this stock, but 500 and 525. So you buy the 500 and sell the 525. So for $25 spread, just go out on time as much as possible. You don't have to worry about a time decay and stuff. If the price hits from there, yeah, you make money. It all depends on the delta, how much delta you carry. Stock can pop like 10, 15 points or so, close the trade. I have to hold it. You're just avoiding time decay, right? Because when you go out further on time, you don't have a negative theta, especially on a spread. Okay. So your all your focus is on to see like, okay, if the stock managed to find support in next week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, I don't know, depends where the next potential support is, that if it can make a move back, it will. Sooner or later, it's gonna go right to 526. I don't know how many weeks it's gonna take. As yesterday was a pretty strong hit for the stock. So you have to look at those things as well. You don't just instantly jump on a trade because the price reaches the bottom. The price reaches a bottom, there is a very good chance that it's going to trigger a new buy signal in the next coming weeks. Not the next week. You don't have a stock that flushed down 100 points in one single day for the week and then you expect a buy signal. That's not how it works. Okay? You will see it on a screen when it triggers. Then we'll target this and this. Yeah, I don't really jump on these ones. Sometimes I depend. Mag 7s I do, because they're very steady stocks. They don't make crazy moves up and down. So, yeah, Palantir, yeah. Palantir has a sell signal in the weekly as well. We just looked at them. Didn't we just look at them? So we need to adjust that. Well, 100% measured move. That's just a broken structure here. 138. Okay, meaning that the distance traveled here on the first swing projected from this swing high. Okay, the 100% measured move is at 138.92. Okay, so that is one. 78.6 was this that closed yesterday. Um, So I don't know if it's gonna go down here and stuff, but then you can see what the should be around here. Yeah, I got an overshoot here. I got 158, 146, 176, 208. That's just way up there. So 158. So let's do this. So we take the same one line, put it here. We can duplicate this thing. Turn into a white. Closes 2805. Oops. Damn. Look at the high right there. Wow. That's a beauty right there. Then the second one, 176. One. And then duplicate this. Edit 158.5. So I got an overshoot here. Right there. So pretty tight band. I would watch this. That's it. So as a matter of fact, I should not be putting any dollar signs over there to be a, oh, it's a price. That's why it's gonna show that. I'd rather just have a, how do you get rid of that thing? Oh, okay, there you go. Oh no, it's okay. Same thing. So that's the, it has a sell, I mean, it has a sell signal unless if it reverses, whatever. There you go. You got your channel right there from all-time high to this, projected from here to this low. If you don't wanna use a, God, man, this kind of so difficult to work on these. Yeah, that's the close. That's the low right there because of the wick. So it was right there yesterday. So let's watch this one and see. I mean, I don't ex that's a broken structure here anyway. So there's very tough chance for the stock to rally back up. Anything can happen. Well, Apple had a sell signal. It reported earnings. What happens? Nothing. Microsoft had a sell signal. They reported earnings. What happened? Got killed. It has a sell signal since November 3rd, right? So these are the earnings we just had. Meta had a buy signal. Stock popped. So it's just, its structure is broken. Structure is not broken. So the ours, like, we talk about it. Weekly is the engine. Daily is your moving parts. It's not like the stock cannot move during a session at 10, 15, 20 points. It, of course it can. But that doesn't change the picture here, though. When you look, when you look in something here on this time frame, you have to shift your time frame to daily time frame if that's what you want to trade. It's not like I don't trade. I've trades that I took on ARM and whatever the other one I took from the daily sign or time frame from the rotation and stuff, but I closed them. The what is that core CRWE, whatever the stock is, core V or something. That got a nice pop as well. Like we cashed that one out as well. So those are the trades. I just they scanned them. It pops up on a scanner. I looked at the buy signal. So like, okay, fine, I'll open the trade. So it's like a very like a short-term trade. Some of these weekly signals were holding. Like it'd be a Boeing right there. We closed that one. So what's the student? There's a lot of mess here now. So let's see here. Okay, here's a Boeing trade, right? I have shares, but I closed those leaps. Boeing upside capped it at 269. Mid is at 215. Okay. The bottom is at 180. So obviously there was a very good chance when I took that trade off that signal, is when I wanted to target these, right? So it worked it worked out really well because the sucker just went nonstop every single week, right? We entered here, right here. So we rode this whole thing back to the upside, which went weeks after weeks after weeks, as you can see. So now this week right there, which is 7.31, it kind of took a little bit of a breather, you know. So I would be really, really interested here. Depends. I mean, you can do a swing just to see what the retracement looks like. But what I'm planning to just get back in there, you know. So it already made a new, it already um, um, took out last year high right there, which is a pivot right there. So I'm gonna watch. I'm watching this one. I'm gonna put another a leap spread again on this. So not a lot of upside here, as you can see. Okay, so cannot make a huge case of a Boeing yet. Okay, So we're just gonna be right here. We can do a little shorter term, like a butterfly here, and just to kill some time after this kind of a huge run. We can just kind of chop around here in this area. So I had these, I had a first zone here, which we reached. We had a second zone here, which I had, which is as you can see, I did it right under that 270 mark. So I did it really, I mean, the upside is 290 is actually the measured move from this low, projecting this high from this low, which is this higher low, which is this equal 100% measured move, just to take this swing. But in order to make a case for that 290, we need that thing to shift over time to get to that level. So we're not there yet, as you can see. It hasn't really touched that 269 either. As you can see, it came pretty close to 254 2 weeks in a row. And just this week it backed off. So the reason it backed off because it has a 9 weeks of a straight run to the upside. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you can see, all 9 higher bars week after week. So it has to take a little bit of a pause. So I'm watching. I have shares that I bought as well for myself. So I'm gonna, yeah, I kind of give back a little bit, which is okay. I mean, what can we do? But I'm gonna we'll make up another spread to see if we can target the upside. And if that, you know, I'll do the same thing. I'll 8, 9 months out on time. Now the earnings out of the way anyways. So yeah, we'll just buy time and let those leap works. Okay. So good stuff. Patience, job, out of the game. Yeah, 3 months is just like not um tech is just I know. I mean, I it's annoying if you ask me as well, it's definitely annoying to see a price has not pretty much doing anything. I even posted that thing on a Twitter yesterday as well, and if a lot of you guys follow me there as well. Just to kind of, I like to see things in a bigger time frame, you know. So it just choppy environment we're in for sure. We're not in a trending market. So as Eli Lilly right there, I believe it's the same here. So I'm getting into it done by 11:24. Yeah, I kind of shift a little bit the upside. So 11, change that. Do basically right there where the high is. It doesn't really shift much. 948. That one right up. So this is what I had to do. 823. See, prices. I don't know when was the last time I did this, but you can see how much did I change from the last price? It doesn't really change that much, right? So it's a good sign. You see like the levels, then basically the mid and the lower rises up. It's not pushing the numbers are not going down. It's actually going up. So this keeps the price and a time to stay up. So this is yeah, Eli Lilly is fine. Yeah, just mid is right there, 948, upside is at 1124, all-time high is 1133. So from the last kind of 3 weeks is, yeah, I'm just I had a trade open my brother's account on Lockheed Martin. This thing just went extremely like a parabolic, to be honest. I bought him right there at 440. Look at that right now. Fucking stock just went crazy. Um, what else do we have here? Just going through this hymns I bought. I bought that leap right there because of this band. So we got a 2 point lower open. So you've got the official close this week now, as you can see right there, which is fine. So now we had a bit of a price action out of the time band, right? So we have all the time in the world on this trade. So when you buy leap, you're gonna expect to give trade a little bit of a breathing room. So now we're gonna see when the price will make a move back above, I think it's at 29.35. So I'm doing the same thing that I usually do. Oops, at 27.50. 27.50. Look at this one. At 41.95. And then the upper one is 58.98. Okay, so we're right here at 27.50. So it basically shift lower by 2 points. That's where the close was. So yeah, last time it made a move. We'll see. We'll give another week or two and see how the price can curve. Yeah, I'm targeting only this this number like 40. If the price can make a move from whatever 25, 26, 27 back to 40 in a couple months or so, I mean, yeah, it's good. Yeah, these doesn't we don't have I don't have the official we don't have the official buy signal here yet. So I'm just only taking that time plus the rotation that I'm watching in a weekly time frame. The rotation does look good. Okay, so just have to right there. So you just gotta take some time if it can, it's gonna come out of there. So that's where the move is gonna happen. So not as straight. I mean, we have, about tons of time for a reason. So let this thing work a little bit and see how it plays out. So we're right there now. So if we can make a move back toward here, that's it. That's all the trade. Its stock is very choppy. Not if you would ask me, like when I'm not in love with that kind of price action, what the stock is doing is very range bound, as you can see. So it's basically like it takes a dip, it reverses, and it just washes everything away. Okay, it's really not holding the actual trend toward the upside. So you have a much larger, deeper retracements. So now whatever it goes, like look at this way, take this low. See, that's a this is what you call full complete washout. You see? From here, because when you break this high, you see you made a room, and then you went all the way back here where you actually started the swing. See the swing move? It's huge. So then from here, look at that. So when you have this kind of a price action, it's not like the stock doesn't have upside. It's gonna make another crazy move because it's been doing the same thing over and over again, right? So it doesn't have that actual uptrend on a stock like when you actually see the price. When the stock trends like this, what is it shows right there is just in a huge box kind of a price action, just going back and forth, back and forth. Whatever whatever you gain, you just flushes everything back down to the same level. So it's a cheap stock. I mean, $27 stock. So we'll see. We're gonna give some time and see if the rotation kind of improves and week after week, if it makes its way back up. Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm updating it. So little. Oh, you want to look at it? MU. MU is on. This thing is on ripping, man. It's crazy how this thing has went from there. 73.50 from here. Um, okay, it's gonna be due for a main revert pretty soon. 373.60. God, I hate this here because I watch this screen most of the time. So it managed to, this is the second week that it actually closed above. Minus 249. So just watch this for now. And this window. 373 is this. So made it to 455. 3.81% for the week, up 45. Yeah, starting a clear uptrend right there. Nice move. You got Intel here, same thing. Made a move back to the upside. Even this one had earnings, I believe. It managed to kind of survive for sure. The story of this one. Yeah, there he goes fighting the upside here. That's why. 47.29. Yeah, it's not gonna 40. What was that? 47.29. There you go. 47.29. Close at 46.47. You see, you got an overshoot and backs off. Yeah, just gonna it's gonna fight this number, this area right there. You had a huge wick rejection here, so there's one thing you have to understand. Okay, two things. Price tells you what based on what the buy signal and the sell is, right? when you should buy, when you should enter the trade, when you should exit the trade, right? Price tells you what, cycle tells you when. So the two things you have to remember is what and when. So the signals have a different mechanics. Okay, it has to um, meet certain conditions, and then from there you have a time going dancing around your price. Okay, here it is from 3 weeks, 1 week, second week. This is the week we just had. None of the closes from the last 3 weeks were above 47.29, as you can see. They're all closed lower. That's a lower close. Almost there at 47. I don't know what the close is here. I gotta look at that. You can see where the close was. Look at this close. So it's fighting that upside is where the time caps that move to the upside. It doesn't mean that the next week, because the trend is up, it doesn't mean that it cannot go back up next week. Sure, it can, but it's gonna fade. So it's just not gonna, don't expect a massive upside. That's what the point is. Any upside from here it comes, it's because it's gonna be very limited. Think anybody has that? Nobody does. Uber failed yesterday. I closed it. Had a buy signal here to this. All last 2 weeks, all it did is just faded. So on top of it, it put up an evening star, which is a bearish candle for this week. And plus the buy signal gone. I was like, I just got the trade. Move on. I'm gonna find something else. So it's I was really hoping for this thing to move right down there, 77. But that's a pretty big chance. It's a good chance the money's gonna hit there because the signal failed, so we don't have any buy signal anymore. There's a pretty good chance it's gonna go to 77, 71. Plus with the evening star like this. So what we can do is, oops, I keep them separate. I'm just for you because I'm only sharing one monitor. Let's see. When you, I mean, I know you guys don't have that. When you work on this, this just like, I mean, you just want to puke just to look at this chart, over these ones. It's just day and night. Like, ugh. I know you guys don't have that to actually see and experience the difference. It's just, I mean, you, like you pay the price for an expensive software. I mean, you gonna get a lot of out of it. So you just have to sit and learn, and that takes months and months because okay, what I'm doing here, duplicate. But it doesn't. I mean, it's not like I don't. I think Sim is pretty advanced. It's a very good. Okay. So that's Uber 77, 71. So that thing is gone. So there's a pretty much good chance that's when Yeah, there was a buy signal here, so failed. Now we're back to the same previous sell signal. So now I'm gonna wait for the new one. So I'll keep an eye on it. Something comes in and target the 89 print to the upside. So that's Uber. Watching this one, AMT right there. I thought about opening a trade, so it's a confirmed buy signal as well. So I might get in this one on Monday. But again, I have to check and see their earnings are coming up. So watch this one. So it has a confirmed buy signal. It's right at the mid. Unless it hasn't changed. Hang on. I'm gonna drag it down, be easier. It's been a very oh boy. It's been a very long time thing. It's gonna be a tough one fight to the upside. That's a massive shift. That's a massive shift. 150. Okay. You see how much? I think I've done it probably like 2 or 3 weeks ago. As you can see how much it changes? Not much. See 152.64 now. I labeled it last time at 153.53. So I don't, it doesn't, so, as I said, the point is that it's not going to change much. If this would be changing often, then it's completely worthless. So it really doesn't, just by like a point. So it's right there in the mid. I mean, anything can happen, you know, but if I'll go in, I'm going to take a smaller size position on this one. The only reason I want to do is just because it has a declining band. Let's run some fibs here. Okay, so right at 23.6 off this high right there. So, geez, everything is so white. Let's do yellow. So 192. What I would do is I would target this for now. So I would do 180, 190 call spread. See if we can climb up if against this low, just this 169.40. Um, so that would be the setup right there to play this. Okay. It's been a very long time. Last one was back on 8th. This one triggered on the January 19th, which is last week. So I think an inside week. Yeah, 180, 190. I would do that. And this. If it gets to 200, I mean, that'd be beautiful. So any upside from here, we'll take it. It's not, it's not like we're not gonna. It's just, yeah, 211 is down here, so I wasn't even worried about anything else. Yeah, pretty much upside capped here toward this 78.6. Okay, so hang on. Oh, nice, 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 nice. That's good. That's good. I don't know when they report earnings, so that's another hurdle. Yeah, rotation looks good. Signal is confirmed. We're right in the mid. Yeah, 180, 190, I would do that. If I really want to go out of the money, you can do 190, 200. It's gonna be a lot cheaper, but we need to see how much is gonna be the time decay against the spread, which is gonna cost us time per day. Or you can do half-half. You can just split the cost between two separate orders. You can always do that as well. You just have to decide like um, what I mean by that is like you can always split two orders. Instead of putting all money in one order, you can split them in two. I do it all, I mean, not all the time, but you basically what you're doing is like let's say you want to put um a $2,000 into a trade, a total, right? So you break the 2,000 into two separate trades. What I mean by that is you take, let's say, 180, and then you do 190. That's one trade. You put $1,000 here, and then you open another spread of 190 and whatever. Take this one, and you put another $1,000 there. So because the one that you're gonna buy here, so cost is gonna be total 2,000 anyways, but you just have four different strike prices. You're too long and too short. So you split the cost. So this one right there, because the strike price right at the money has more intrinsic value anyway, so you're not gonna be get hurt too much with the time with the negative theta. This one will have a negative theta, but at least this trade right there will offset some of it because you split the order, you know? So it's the same cost overall. So you're taking basically a $2,000 risk, but you just basically split them into two, you know? So if you really wanted to cut down the theta that you said, I don't want to going out too much on time because it hurts because you have to pay for it every single day. Then what you can do, you can put $1,500 total on the first one and then put $500 a cheaper one to the upside. So you can do that there, but you just have to play around at 2,000. When you're gonna bring $1,500 worth of a premium up here, it's gonna help a lot by the ones that you hold in a, you know, way out of the money. So it's just always a way you can. It's the same trade, but you structure it two different ways. Okay, it all depends on how much you're paying for it. That's the debit that you pay. That's the max risk that you're taking. So you don't have to be crying over if uh if a trade goes against you. Well, you know what you paid for it. The dangerous trades are the one that you do in a credit, those credit spread trades. Those are dangerous. You know, call credit spreads and stuff, and like like where you're trying to cap the upside and something just pops huge. I mean, it can destroy you big time. Those are dangerous. These credit spreads as well. It's a huge because they carry it because that's margin trading right there because you're borrowing so much money to collect that X amount of premium. You're collecting a credit up front when you put the trade in, right? But you're taking a huge risk. Debit is definitely more comfortable. At least you sleep good at night time. So like, okay, shit, I risk 1,000. Okay, I mean, I lose 1,000. Okay, fine. I can manage. You cannot lose more than what you pay for it. When you're gonna borrow, have a margin of 10 times more than you actually gonna make on that trade, and anything happens, anything can happen. You know, I mean, those that $400 credit that you're trying to collect by that time, yeah, can turn into a freaking almost a $10,000 loss for you. because you just a credit spread is it's just a basically a passage of time that you're just trying to let the clock can run as quick as it can, that you can just keep the credit that you received up front. Yeah, those are. I had a guy one time in the group. He left. He was doing those call credit spread. He was following a group somewhere, so like somebody somewhere else, that they were doing call credit spreads on earnings. That's the dumbest thing you can ever do. He got lucky several times. He got very comfortable with that. And then all it took is what? One single trade is wiped him off. Because you know, the implied volatility spikes, right? Everybody jumps on, said, oh, I want to sell premium, I want to sell premium. Fine, you can do that. But it's just, elevated volatility is ideal to sell on premiums. Everybody knows that. Okay. But it's the same concept that he's doing. Like, okay, earnings are coming. The day the earnings are coming, the IV exploded, right? So the premiums are expensive. So he's selling those premiums by doing those the credit spreads. So as soon as if the stocks even open flat, right, you're a winner. If the earnings comes down, oh, you're a winner. And if the earning explode on you, you toast. You're done. So you have so you're winning by two directions. Either a stock opens flat, okay, that will be the ideal win, right? It's just because the next day, the premiums that you those are gonna be they're just gonna go pretty much max gains. So when the IV is gonna come, it's gonna hit those premiums really hard at the open on the flat open if the volatility is already elevated before earnings. And if the stock pushes lower, yeah, perfect. Yeah, but if the stock is gonna move 10, 15, 20 points against you, yeah, then you're done. So that's yeah, you don't it's dangerous. It's very, very dangerous. You'd rather just pay for it and you know exactly before you push the button exactly how much risk that you're taking on a trade, and then you're fine with that. You know, you don't have that thing is like if price can goes up, fine, you know exactly you defined your risk up front, like okay, I'm risking this much to make this much. If I can make 30% or 40% on that return, boom, close it on, take your money and run. That's what I do normally. Try to get to 30, 40, 50% somehow, boom, that close the trade, move on. I'm not like sitting here and I want to sit here hoping for a home run. They'll come. I mean, but their odds are so low. Those trades, they don't come that often. That you just maxing out because you're buying so much time, the price can reach. Let's say you buy a 180 and a 190, right? And if the price pops right there, you have like 60 days, right? I cannot even use the mouse today. So you have 60 days, right, on this. Let's say in 2 days, a stock move from here to here. Let's say in next week, stock move reaches $200. So your 180 and 190 went straight in the money, right? But you have 58 days of time left for this entire spread to max out. You see, let's say you're risking $1,000 here, your payout here was 2,000. So the price can reach from here to here. You probably gonna end up making like what, 1,100, like 13, 1,400 bucks. Call it like this. But then you have like almost 58 days to sit on that trade to collect that time, right? For the short call that you have, which is this 190, is to melt um, every day because you have to keep the 180. You're melting the 190. So we don't know that how fast the stock is going to move. Yeah, we're buying a time window. Okay, we have 2 months. That's a lot of time, right? To see like, okay, if how the stock moves and if it goes sideways. This is like it depends where it is. And this kind of a case like this, like, okay, well, price is at 179. Okay. And you know that if the price dips down here to 169.40, this thing is toast, right? This thing is done. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to target this to here to here. That would be a reasonable target. If the trade progress more, fine, you can take it. But when you're looking at a trade, you're trying to make a decision like, okay, well, this is one confirmation. This is exactly where we take action when we have confirmed buy signal. Then we come back here, I look at this, okay? And then you can sit and watch your order flow and whatever that you guys do. So you can do those. And then that's it. That's all we need. We have a price, we have time, we have rotation. That's it. What else do you want? You don't need, I want a 1 hour, I need a 1 hour level, I need an Elliott wave count, I need a daily levels. I'm like, sorry, what are you even doing? Everything is going to be different. Different, when you go to a daily time frame, you have shorter swings, more signals, different rotation. Everything is different. That's not the same. So when I told you about that, those double buys and double sells, like how rare they are and how difficult they are to find, that's the point is because these two time frame are very, very hard to match. So I showed you an example of that APP stock. It's when you have a double sell versus the same thing when you had a double buy, man, those stock move fast. I caught them, few of them. I mean, but they're very hard to find though. That's what I'm saying. Where's the other one? I was looking at Broadcom. Broadcom is 302, 350, 401. Made it up to 414, rejected, closed right at 401. Ever since backed off, got a sell signal. It's been kind of chopping around and showing some weakness on the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks. Okay, so downside 302, 350, 401. So it's pretty simple. 300, 350, 400. That's the range, 50-point wide range in between that stock. Is it gonna come down to 300? It's possible. I have shares. I know they kind of give back. I did a call credit spread on that one. I already pretty much maxed out the whole thing. So I already cashed that one at like 790. It was capped at 800. Sold 40 cents worth of a premium that I collected. Yeah, 40. Sold them at 1 penny. So that's already gone. Kind of hedged it against this. So the same thing, 50 shares, 50 delta call spread, cut down the entire delta. You got 24, 25 days. to uh, to sit and collect time and max it out. And so I'm not planning to sell the stock anytime soon. I know it can come down to 300, but if it has an official buy signal, I will definitely start buying leaps again. I will, for sure. It's one of the best companies in the world. Yeah, it's a 50-point wide range in this one. No, I don't have to add shares. No, I can leave the shares the way they are. Why would I add that? I can just do other sitting in a pretty good gains. I'll just do another option trade, cheaper, more potential, so I'll keep the core position on as is and keep hedging or do from there. Because if I'm gonna add more shares, my cost will rise as well. So keep that thing in mind. Because I'm buying higher while if I'm sitting here. So you have to keep that thing in mind as well. So I'm adding more, but I'm rising my cost gonna go up as well. So I'd rather leave those shares as is. I have 50 and I'll just either keep hedging, something is gonna come, I'll just do option spread, let that thing work. Same thing with Google as well. Yeah, but I'm not a you wanna buy low. You wanna buy but if I have an option, so the flexibility, like Boeing trade, right? So I got the shares, and I got the spreads, the those spreads are made like over 5 grand. It's a good trade. It was a very good trade, right? It worked out so fast. I did partial on one trade, then I booked the last one. We're just sitting and watching. I was hoping that price is gonna hit that upper time, but then I started looking. I was like, 9 weeks straight melt up without a single lower bar. Plus, this week we have earnings. I was like, I'm taking the trade off. I'll leave the shares as is. So we'll enter again. Watching Boeing and see. Kind of mess around. If the stock is on the uptrend, and well, I give you, and well, if the buy signal is gonna come, then you can buy shares. It's the only what else I can suggest to you. There's no point to enter buying shares here like this. Either if you want to go for it, it has a sell signal. I mean, if it reverse, I mean, it can. It's down what 4% for the year. Week was up 3.5%. I've given every position. Meta, I was holding what 680. Look at now, over $1,000 now. Every single one of these trades I posted, well, you don't see them now because the 90-day lock window on the Slack. Google, I posted, I was like, okay, I'm buying long-term shares on Google at this price. Broadcom, I posted, I'm buying this one. Amazon, I posted, like, hey, I'm buying shares here. I've given all these trades. Google, I did. Broadcom, I did. What else? Apple, I did. Given all these lower entries, but some of you guys just too busy in daily charts and they just okay. Yeah, Apple got Tesla I've had it for a long time at 150. So I have 75 shares. Um Broadcom I sent it out. Google I've been you guys all know since last year how many times I was mentioning Google. Buy this damn stock. Buy, some most cheapest stock. How many times I was talking about it last year? Buy Google. Amazon, we bought them. Meta, we bought them. So I have all, I mean, I mean, I have those. I don't have Microsoft that I opened it with you guys yet, but Apple, I have it. So instead of going with NVIDIA, I went with this one because NVIDIA was just such, because it doesn't have really a cells. The didn't got the NVIDIA, I got this one. So I have had a Microsoft left, which I might buy, and this Netflix left. So then I would have all the Mag 7 stocks except for NVIDIA. But NVIDIA, I'll see. NVIDIA can give some weakness and stuff, yes. But until then, it's Broadcom can cover that thing. See, it's just I try to do remember I we closed the butterfly. It's just a scratch trade, like a penny what I paid for it. Just I was trying to see if I was trying to center this thing around that 185. Yeah, I paid close at 191. So, again, something's short, but just to see if something like the price can kind of close the week close to the 185 would be ideal. But yeah, I didn't open that much. I capped the upside pretty tight. So if the trade would explode to the upside, we're just not going to have that much loss. It's just like, the more like a broken wing butterfly, more like a balanced. So your upside is pretty much capped at low compared to your downside. So it's okay. I'll make another one. Russell, as we all know, the weakness that we saw this week on the small caps are coming now because it kind of ran way too much. Backed off from 26.88, the highest 27.35. So the close at 26.13. As you can see how well indexes works around the time. Last week got cute, went above 26.88, made it up to 27.35 with a wick. Closed below the 26.88. This week closed below the 26.88. So your upside is pretty much capped at 26.88 for 3 weeks in a row. How do you confirm that? You pay attention to this when I'm going to show you the chart. Okay, and don't ask me questions in the middle of a section, please. I'm busy. First test here, wick. This week rejection right there. You see this level right there? Indexes works really well around the time cycle. Just remember that. Okay, so you have almost triple rejections right there. So you're pretty much capped here. In order to make the case, this thing has to shift quite a bit to the upside. Okay, so that's Russell 2000. Mid is 2500. So our range right now is from here to here is 7.8, 7 point, almost call like 8%. That's our range. Or another 5% dip is going to go flat for the year. Okay. Nobody in the world is going to show you a, or ever is going to have this kind of a stuff what you see here. You know the rule. Price tells you what, cycle tells you when. We're gonna make a lot of money this year. Just wait. Just need to grind this job out. AXP got a sell. Same thing. I had an earnings as well. See, already had a sell signal with the earning popped on it. So UNH got destroyed. This one already had a sell signal here. We have the mid price. Still holding this low. Man, nasty. Ugh. Crazy weekly candle right there for this week. AXP. Do it here. I can do any stock here. It's easier. You can just because over there, I have to manually here 323, 356, 388. And this is gonna look a little different because this is a line chart. Here, it's better. Line always gonna show a little different read because it's only based on a close. This one at least it shows you the exact highs with all your fake wicks. Okay, so here you are. This is gonna be a little better. So if you have any stock, you can kind of ask me, put me in a chat right there. I can pull it up for you. Just mark, take a screenshot or just mark it on your chart. It will be just, you see the way I do it? Just an easy way to do it. Just pull up a weekly chart and just draw three lines. That's all you gotta do, you know? So when you draw three lines, you're like, okay, you know what the price is and you know what the top, what cycle are you in right now. That's all you need to know. Keep it simple. What do you want? TER 224 got a bit of an overshoot here lasted. This was close 3 weeks. Yeah, this thing is pretty extended. 224. I mean, we'll see. 224, 176 TER. What is that? Oh, that's a crazy run from here. ASML 13, 14. For now, it just has to mean the word. See, this is healthy, you see? Watch this. So what's the first thing that I look at? You see how the band, see how it's rising? See how the price goes? As when you have a declining band like this, it's low. It's the stock in the coming weeks, months, quarters is losing momentum, big time. Time just gonna cap that upside really hard. You want this. The time is already shifting that move to the upside. You see? When the price was here, how the when this catches the uptrend, the moment when it catches the momentum, the rotation and stuff plays, that's when the price accelerates goes to the upside. You need a rising band. You need a declining band. It's difficult to find. It's not like that we cannot trade anything at declining band. Of course we can, but our expectation should be just at that midpoint because we know we have a declining band like this. It's coming down. If we can just target this to here, just get out of the trade. That's it. We're done. For holding something for a longer term, this thing has to shift like this, what you see here. So the stock is in a clear uptrend. It can come back down, but you see, it's going to take a very long time for this thing to turn back down like this because this is the weekly time frame. Let's pay attention to, I mean, you're not gonna see that because I'm gonna be only showing you those three white lines. You just copy it on your chart. And that those numbers that you're gonna copy once, they're just gonna stay on your chart. Expect like what, a point move. I'll give a week or 2 weeks, and you don't shift that much because that's just this very different. Don't ex don't expect that thing to move like crazy every week. No, that would just I wouldn't even look at this nonsense. Yeah, cycles are Scotty, I think, was posting something yesterday on the community. I was sitting like after dinner and stuff, read his thing on my phone. Yeah, there's different ways of cycles you can draw, and it's not never gonna be the same. The You can do pivots, you can do the 10 bar pivot, you can do 20. I mean, these are way more advanced technicals, if you really want to get yourself into it. You can do the swing lows and highs and stuff, you can do those. It's just like cannot be the same. You can't. He was doing this. It's called cycle tool right there. So I want to draw a cycle here. Okay, well, where do you want to end? So if you want to end to this, okay, well, it's just duplicate. You see all these lines. So you took like this low to this high swing, but do you gonna go with a complete swing like this? That would be the right ideal way to do it. You see, you had a one complete swing, you had a full swing second. You see right there, look. That doesn't mean that the cycle ended here now. There's one way to do it, you know? You could do pivots. I mean, there's so many different ways you can draw your beautiful, beautiful cycles, you know? So just as long as over time the price respect those cycles, it's ideal. I'm going to show you I think I deleted that. Um, I did a post here. Show you that. There's a quarterly, there's a Bitcoin. There's a quarterly right there. Hang on. God, that's all I do is just oh, shit, I don't even, yeah, this one. This is a very good chart. Look, it's a quarterly structure. Beautiful, excellent cycle right there. Save this one. This is on, I have to copy this thing again now because I don't know, I think because I was cleaning up a lot of folders. I think I deleted that one. This is a quarterly structure. This is not a day trade like some trading chart. Okay, this is an investor map. This is from a 2009 from 2015 has a 220% run for 25 quarters. Okay, that had a reset of 15. Then from 2016 to 2022 was 166 for 24 quarters. You see how close it was? It was only off by one quarter. Has a 27% decline. And then from 2022, that was the last bear market that we just had, right? And we're only 12 quarters so far. Okay, that's a mid-cycle advance. So what do you see here is the 200% projection. I will show you here. So here's the credit crisis low. Okay, that's when the stock market crashed. So from here to here, okay, that was the first. So we're starting off the credit crisis low, which is 666. So that was 25 quarters here. You see B25, that's meaning the number of bars. The number of bars on a time frame represent one bar is one quarter, is 25 quarters. So 25 quarters has a three-quarter reset of 15.2. Look at this from here to 200% price target, which is at where? 47.15 right there. Look at the high, the bear market high was 48.18. Here comes the bear market 2022 for three quarters, 27.5. And now from here, when we reach that 200 from the next projection up is 95.08. Again, this is not the if you ask me what S&P will hit the upside, I mean, I can say 10,000. I'll get there. But just to going off at that chart right there, it has a $9,500 target. We're only 12 quarters up. The last one was 25. This was 23. So from after 25, we had a 15.2% drawdown. As you can see, that's where the line, you see where the swing changed. So swing high, swing low is this. So swing will tell you where the swing turned the direction. And the swing turned here. So you only have two swings. But the point is like how perfect the top was here was formed when the bear market started. This is a very good chart if you want to keep it in your drawer for a long term, you know. So from this, now the cycle ended here. So the new one that we're in right now, right, is as a upside projection of 95.08. It's pretty cool. So you take this low to this high right there. It gives you a 200% measured move of this. Okay? Swing low, swing high, higher low, higher high, 47.15. Okay? 25 months, 25 quarters, 24 quarters. Okay? Beautiful, excellent timing. Here comes a reset for three quarters for 27.5%. Correct? And now what we're going to do is we're going to take this swing low to this swing high right there. And we're going to extend it from here to the same, this 200% mark. Gives you the exact $9,500. That's what it is. Higher swing, higher low, higher high, higher low. This is higher high. We don't even have any kind of a higher low yet. So your longer term, you just stock has a market has a lot of upside. Yeah, we just tomorrow market drops 50, 60 points. People just literally they have nothing else. They have nothing left to trade. Everybody's so afraid and scared of 3, 4, 5% dip in a market. I know it's just I know how people react. The market has a lot of upside. We need to come in at least hug the 7,300 next, then 83.59, and then 95. This swing has time and price left. This is only 12 quarters. So by the end of March, there will be 13 quarters, right? So calculate at least 24 to 25. This is since the credit crisis is low. Okay, so we have two back-to-back quarters. We think the third one is going to be a shorter one. And even somebody can even sit and call the market top. Market generational top is here, and we're doing this. It's just like, yeah, I know a lot of you guys spend a lot of time on Twitter. This guy is saying this, and he has an interview of this, and he's saying this. It's just like, you don't need nothing. Seriously, you don't need people's opinion. You only need one of these. That's all you need. One screenshot. Nothing is going to get changed over a week or two or three. Most signals don't instantly fail anyways. They take forever to come. That's one thing, right? So when they do come, they try to hold on to it, you know? So it's just like the clean read, I mean, takes a long time, weeks and months. So especially on good companies, yeah, I mean, I jump on them. But the thing is, this is like the Monday opens. If I don't see something, well, it's not gonna come in the middle of 5 minutes later or 6 minutes or 15 minutes later. No, it's gonna show up on Monday. That's it. Nothing is gonna show up on Tuesday. Nothing is gonna show up on Thursday, Friday. Yeah, it can fail if the price takes a huge hit, but Monday is the answer. Okay, something triggered? No. Okay, well, there's nothing there. Monday is the most important day for me at the open. This is when we start the week. I look at it and I really watch the Friday close. Friday close is important, and Monday open. These are the two most important hours for me. I look it up and see what I have open to see how we're closing. And the first thing I check Monday morning is to see what we have open, if something triggered or not against it, or that kind of thing. But I'll have an answer right when I'm gonna one time just gonna put a check the ticker. That's it. Well, leave the stock for the week. Nothing you can do. If the signal is good, let it work. So all the weekly signals that I don't even know somebody even took it, but you better take these trades, because I'm not gonna post them anymore. So all these ones are, so three got stopped out. Rest of them are all working. Oxy here. This one got stopped out. DLR is working. DLR is where? There you go. I know it's moving. Right there. So I'm keeping track of this. I have full on yeah. This stock got a lot of upgrade a couple of weeks ago. I think it was no the week before, it's 2 weeks ago. This stock was getting freaking upgraded left and right. That's what it tells you. This institutional taking position on the stock. That's why they're upgrading it. That's why the stock is going to move. We have a confirmed buy signal anyway. The rotation confirms. That's when I um, picked it up from the scanner. So rotation confirmed, signal is in, stock is getting upgraded by multiple institute. It's like, okay, well, that happens even before, or like, since the trade opened. I got those upgrades were in it, not before. Yeah, Jen didn't, this one didn't work. See, 25.70. Look where the price is now. Yeah, once it fails, it failed. That's it. Just get out, get out of the trade. Look, it's a 26.16 at 25.70 right there. Look where the price is now. 23. Yeah, structured break. I mean, there's nothing left. It happens. Nobody has any control over it, man. You just don't look at this one. This one is moving nice. Don't, this one is, we gotta break this. This one is moving really nice. ECL. See? I was looking for this wedge to break. So it's right there at 278, trying to get to the 286. Once it clear, it'll be a clear shot to 295. So really hoping this thing, C wave, can catch a break to the upside. And these are all. I'm gonna put more to just hang on a couple more days that this earning mess clears up, and I'll do more. I just run a scan pulls up the confirms the rotation, signal confirms here. I didn't even put any time here, but I should.
I've been
Um,
seeing Mo, I've been seeing a lot of these stocks which kind of break out of these bull flags,
yeah,
and then they trap you right there, and then they pull right back in, and then they chop it, and eventually the C is like 2, 3 months out.
yeah, we need to. I need to do the time band. That's why everybody's getting chopped up. So ECL. There you go. See, it's pretty much capped at 285.
So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I mean they take you right back up, almost like a high B wave, and then they
Hmm.
take you right back down.
I should put some prompt. Should take some money on Monday. I didn't even look at them to be honest. I just because I was only focused on that. I mean, if it can overshoot, but you have a time capped right there, and it's pretty much, yeah. We don't have a band that is the timing envelope is extending to 300 or so. It can overshoot, of course it can, but it will mean revert back below 285. So that's the pivot here, anyways. So this is very important. This you will see how much of your trading will improve in the next coming weeks and months. Watch these three white lines. Okay, every chart from the next month is going to have that. I wanted to do a Zoom session today so I can explain and you will understand. Don't take that as your price. It considers, it's just you have a price that is wrapped around this. Confirmation comes from the signal. Okay. If you want to be a stubborn and you cannot sit on your hand and you think like, well, I want to pick a bottom right there of the band and trying to target the mid, you can do it, but you gotta go out far out on time. Okay. So I'm talking about like making a spread from here to here. You can catch any upside. And it's not like the stock is gonna non-stop to the downside. Bigger companies always hold. I mean, 1, 2, 3 session, nice decent pop. You can always cash it out. That just you can do it that way as well. But if you wanna ride the actual signal when you have a confirmed structure build, yeah, So how many charts that we looked at? I don't know, probably 50. How many overshoot that you saw so far, and how many rejections that you see, where prices is from the last several months. Nothing is here, and we're sitting down here, right? There's not a single chart that I see. Hey, Russell had a monster move to the upside. Look what happened. This one accelerated much faster than the tech and the S&P and the Dow, right? Look, 3 weeks is just struggling to close above 2688. If that happens, let's say if it managed to close is above, it's gonna come right back inside. So you're for visual, whatever you holding, whatever we're gonna trade, don't you think is gonna help? Hey, you know what? At least we're right there to the upper band. I mean, you want to be greedy? Fine, hang, sit in your, you can. But this is the place right there. This is where you want to start, you know, reducing size. You don't have much hope of this thing, oh, going to 3,000. It will if the weeks after weeks after weeks, and if the band will shift to the upside. The numbers will change, but the numbers will change, but they're not gonna change by much either. It's not like 1 week is 2688 and next week is going to be 2822. No, yeah, we're not dealing with that kind of a garbage. It's just, yeah, you can go up another point or two. You're fine with that. Yeah, indexes are pretty, they're really, really good compared to stocks. Something is up there. That's just like it's not, doesn't have that more for me to start calculating, swing like, oh, this thing is going to three, like those kind of those imaginary targets. The tree backed off. I know, kind of a little annoying. Took a little hit this week. So same has I have this one 47, 60, 78. So rotation looks good. Got a very nice start the way it went, and it kind of faded. So I'm still up 6.72. It's 60 is a mid, right at 56. Took quite a bit of hit this week. So it's okay. I know. Nobody's happy giving back anything. I get that.
How are its bands?
Huh? What
How are the
happened?
bands?
I don't. What are you saying?
The bands. Sorry, how are the bands?
Oh, it's right here. 60, 78, and 47.
I mean, the other view that you have with the time envelope.
Yeah, yeah. The other chart helps to see if the band is going up or it's on the
Oh,
range
you want to see the
bound.
shift on that thing? Okay. Oh, this is fine. It's okay. It's good. From the bottom up is working his way up. Yeah, it takes a very long time. Look at the time from here. This is from what, December 2024? Okay, look at that. This is until, let me do this. So you'll see much better. No, this is, no, don't worry about that. We'll shift that. Let me do it this way. I mean, well, it's not a lot. I mean, if you're really panicking, yeah, close the trade. Um, Let me do this. Show you do a time. Oops. Here. And this way, it will show you exactly how much of the stock has moved in 1 year. This is the weekly time frame, right? That shows you right there how much of the stock has moved. So let's make this thing as a pink, copy this and this. So that's 2 years of price. Kind of gives you a read on, I mean, it's not a very big mover. Let's do, here's the video. Some big stocks, you know. So this is last year. This is a year before, right? Um, this was coming off from here. Now, just focus on 1 year is more than enough. You can kind of see like how much, what was the last year in, and we're just starting off a new year here, is it doesn't move much. That's what my point is. You know, it's just, you see it tops out here for a couple of weeks, backs off, makes an attempt here, backs off. So it's just like it has upside, but it doesn't have upside to like 250 and 300 yet. Unless if this thing is gonna shift back to the upside, yeah, we'll make the case. But right now it's just 204. It's just the reason. So you basically right there, what you do is you mark this and you mark the all-time high. That's your upside zone. Simple as that. That's it. That's the top right there for the band, right? And that's the all-time high. So 204, 212. That's your upside zone against this and this swing low. There you go. That's your range. So that this range right there defines price and time. What else do you need? Because if this support right there is going to get taken out, here you got 157 sitting on the bottom. So the swing low is. You want to draw a line and stuff, you can do that. Gives you further confirmation. So
Mo,
which side it breaks, I don't know. We don't know.
Mo,
Yeah,
I really respect the weekly signals, but I don't really want to get trapped with these B wave weeklies. And I share with Tomoko, is it possible when the in your chat GPT, the weekly trades that you post, I love them. But if the band is turning down, I don't really want to take those. Is it possible to publish your weekly bands too with the weekly signals?
I
I
can
want to take the,
snapshot. I can
yeah,
snapshot it, you know.
yeah. I want to take the band which are either sideways or going up, but if they're turning down, it's too risky for me to be trapped in a weekly signal because I'll be holding for months then, or I'll have to take a 20% hit on it by the time the sell signal. I don't want to give back so much gains. Yeah. So,
Correct. It's
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely tricky um the to fight the time because it's not the given I know this is because it loses a lot of momentum because by shifting the thing to the downside, it has to. That's what I'm saying. I mean, I have a lot of this, you see right there, it's just not good. So price struggles, you know, and it keep pushing and pushing and keep making lower lows. As you can see right there, you see, it just doesn't have that tilt to the upside. So yeah, it's always the way is if you notice the way this thing works is that you have an uptrend with a rising band. The band goes like this when the price goes into a compression zone. That's when the price chops around. And if from here, if the price starting to shift lower, see? So now if you look at the cues, It's a rising band, right? Look at this. How the tilt was to the downside when we had this bear market down in 2022. See, it lasted for a long time. And then from here, when the starting to uptrend, you see, that's where the pullback on the time by like weeks after weeks after weeks, it rises. They got a big overthrow right there back in 25 in April. Look how price made a mean reversion back inside. You're looking at a chart from 2022.
Yeah, then in that 2022, that first upswing, you see that first upswing which goes
Yeah.
in January, from January to March in
Mhm.
2022. No, to the left, to the left, further back, when the downswing just starts.
Downswing?
If you go all the way to the left, that first swing down, then you see if we take a weekly signal firing there, we get trapped there. So that's what I'm saying, you know, this is a
Yeah,
weekly signal will be firing here, but it's not a
correct.
good trade. Yeah.
We can confirm this thing here. This would nah, I cannot go back. I'm not gonna go back. It stops at 285. So only have this. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no. I do see this as well, but it's the point is that it should not move much. Okay, that's the main purpose. That's the main point for this. Okay, a point or 2 point slide, so that's normal. Okay, because the data is keep coming, is and it's adjusting. Yeah, you don't need like no time cycle move shifts significantly over like a week or two. Those are not even, you don't even call you if you want that, you need a Bollinger Band that gives you the because Bollinger Band has a pretty same kind of look to it, and the but those are more volatility kind of you're tracking that with, that kind of stuff. I don't use that. But this is good. Comes handy. I can take a snapshot if I'll do another five badge. A lot, and we'll see how it goes. Yeah, one by one, I'm gonna do all these. So I got I think I got SPX done. Been doing it slowly. On NDX, yeah, the Qs. I got the SPY, I have IWM, Russell. So I got all the main ones. I need to work on a semis. This is the important one. 397. Let's mark this one. Take a line. One, two, put it anywhere. We gotta adjust it. The only thing might have a default, but do white. Mark this in a 397.08. I really don't have to put pennies. We're not tracking pennies. 75. Mm, that's it. That's all we need. Blow it up. Here we are. See, the upside extension we can always measure. That's not a problem. We can just take this swing low. There you go. You see, we can do that. 127, 127 extension. So I have those. I'm not worried about The point is the is where the price is in the cycle. That's the most important thing that we want to know and we want to see. These kind of eh, you know, this is it's going to be a similar to all the other ones. So 34, 29, 3, 15, 33 and a half, 10. Wow, nice run. It's, we'll see. Nice tilt to it, see? Works pretty good. Very. I've done, it's been going to be almost, well, not there yet, but it will be 2 decades. I would say probably the next 2 years. As many technicals I've learned, did practice, had my experience over the years. I think this is the most impressive thing that I've ever experienced that I'm going to in the next coming years. By I always wanted something like that, but it's so damn difficult to to figure this thing out. It's like price is price. You get that. But where the price is in that time cycle is the most important thing that everybody is dying to 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 know, It's just like where we at on a cycle. Fine, price has an upside, you know. I was looking at it yesterday. I wouldn't be like this shakeout yesterday on silver and gold. I'm not surprised. I know I was like the like how much is overshoot from 91, which was this week. As you can, this is this week. And I was like, okay, it did overshoot. It managed to close out of that 91. I said, like, but look where the close was. It's the same thing that I'm watching Russell now for the last 3 weeks. Russell, like the point that I'm trying to make here is like how well this thing works, that how the price reaches the peak, the crest of the cycle, and how the price behaves there. It doesn't really give a close above it, you know? So that's what I was like, got really, really impressed when I started looking at this thing. I was like, this is pretty impressive. It's just like how the upside gets capped, like how it say like, okay, this is it, Let's let took a little bit of a breather and momentum kind of slows down. And it just this is a weekly. So it's just like, look at this, how it backs off. It's same thing. So like 3 weeks I've been watching to see if is it gonna get a close above 2688? No. 3 week closes are below it. And it overshoots, see it backs off. It's pretty impressive. Really, really impressive. Really like it. If I like if I like something, I like something. If I don't, I don't, I'll tell you. It's pretty because I compare and like every stock has its own personality, right? How it trades and things. Tesla trades like the way it does. Everybody knows that. Crazy stock. And there's some stocks are a little more nice and steady kind of run, more just give you a bit like a reasonable sort of like they're not crazy aggressive pullback like the way it comes down, but anything can happen. But again, the point is like every stock is different. But it's just indexes are just more ETFs and indexes are just more steady. I think here's GLD. I didn't take the GLD. And we gotta cut it off because I gotta go to a store. What is the it's gotta be the same thing because I think I did the art futures yesterday. See, big overshoot. Crazy. Um, and gold might set back a little bit more. It has to come back inside. So let's mark this here. Okay. So back to those three lines. 426. Just copy the duplicate this one, drag it down. It might shift a little bit because it has such a huge upside. Um, Duplicate this. That's it. So that's GLD. So it might make a little because I had a very big over. See how it coming back, backs off. So we'll see what GLD. Man, GLD, you're crazy. Don't look at this from here. I mean, it's not like that. Like this year, we're not gonna catch some of these. We will, you know. It's just a patience game. Some of them will run. They'll run. They can keep you in for a very long time. And this is what I wanted to do. These ones that I am, the ones that I have them here, every one of them right there, either I'm gonna get killed, meaning like not killed, like I'm gonna get stopped out, like meaning they fail, or they run. I wanna what I wanted to do, I want to see like, okay, how long does it take and how long it runs until the next sell signal trigger. Sell signal trigger, just take the trade out. Buy to sell, nothing in between. Let the thing work, you know? So two got failed. So 13s are still working. All these trades right there, they take such a long, these all of them have confirmed rotation. Okay. Signal is in. Okay. Stay in. And I've been updating the portfolio through ChatGPT. I did this tracking all 15 of them. So and now down to 13 just to see where how we close. So I've been posting that thing as well. You'll know exactly how much is it. I have from pretty much 100 on every one of them. So keep them all flat. I'm not taking all the full risk anyways. I mean, if this thing goes right down to 156.32, it's gonna kick me out. Let's see how much more upside we can get. Well, more like 4 grand. Now, if I want $5,000, I can just simply close all of them in one chart. Like, okay, I risked that much. I made 4 or 5 grand on all, on all these trades. Just wait for the next one, free up capital. You can do that 1 month. I mean, not all 15 will run. You just need like few good runs in between. They'll make up the whole difference for all the other ones. It all adds up. Money is not about all about yeah making money. Well, everybody makes money. You can go like go have a 9 to 5 job. You're gonna make money, right? Because you're gonna collect a paycheck. It's all about compounding. How are you gonna compound the money that you have? That's the way you're gonna master that thing, you know? Let that thing breathe. I know, like, this is a perfect example here. I looked at it, I was like, what the fuck? Like this one. Yeah, giving back, it's not fun. I see, like, shoot, I was up like almost like $1,900 on this trade. I'm like $400, give or take. It's crazy how much a stock can swing just in one single week. This was the full move that we caught. This one. Look at the size of this weekly candle and the next one. And then look at the last 2 weeks. It's a good company, you know. I think I would definitely, but upside is capped at 78 as well, which is right there at the high. So back at 60. I hope it doesn't shift, and then it's gonna. We'll see what happens. I cannot. I mean, you cannot predict. Yeah. I mean, look, commodities, especially gold and silver. Okay, when they run, they're gonna. It's the any asset class, metals. Okay, this Bitcoin and stuff. They're volatile. Okay, you trading volatility. You be fully aware of it. These are the like commodities. Most of them they always overshoot. You know, it's not like the stocks don't overshoot. Of course they do, but they're like oil, like they just like some of them they explode on some news and stuff that happens in the world, whatever. Commodity just it's a different asset class. So the price, so the nature of the price on those are a little different than we usually used to see in regular stocks. They just Bitcoin, same thing. When Bitcoin, when it runs, it runs. It's not like it's never gonna run again. It will, but it's just like, well, not every entry is gonna be a perfect entry according to the time, but I have a very good feeling. I mean, I'm watching that this is where I wanted to start positioning myself for Bitcoin. I will add more, and I want to see how the Bitcoin reacts from here. So it's a pretty well defined, excellent channel. I mean, we have this same band right there, so we're definitely not going too far out. That's for sure. So your downside is at 70. Okay. So you're already down 35.8%, which is pretty much the largest swing compared to the previous two, as you can see. So the retracement went a little bit more. Okay. But if you look at the month after month from the last 4 months, you had a top right there, which was formed with the outside bar. You had a lower bar, then you had an inside bar, then you had another outside bar. So it has not, it's not, has, it doesn't even have a single higher bar yet. It's always like this, the way they are. Okay. Same thing here. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 months. Okay. Not a single higher bar. Look at right there. Okay. This is exactly the same price structure. Okay. Outside bar, outside bar, big, huge lower bar, another lower bar, inside, outside bar, outside bar. This is identical same. 3 months, 3 months, 35.8, 31.8. So went like probably 4%. Very similar swing, the way they are, with the same. This candle matches this candle matches this one has different. This was inside, this was a lower, and this outside. This might be just bottom here. It's gonna rip next month. Because the thing is this, the it takes time. That's the only thing. The rotation doesn't look bad at all on the weekly time frame is what I'm here. Ethereum doesn't look bad. Ethereum monthly chart is bad. Ethereum monthly chart is not good for sure. Um, you see, there it's still weak. That's what I'm saying. It's not there yet. So that's why the price is not confirmed. This is ugly, man. That's why I wanted to show you this Ethereum. This is nasty. This has a much worse um, chart than the Bitcoin. This 5 months. B5 doesn't even have a single higher bar, and this is a broken monthly structure right there. Right there. At least the Bitcoin monthly swing is still up. This is on a decline of 5 months. Bitcoin is only in a decline for 3 months. There you go. See the difference? Ethereum has more weakness, okay, and has a broken structure. It's gonna take it. So now once you will have this, now you need 3 months of higher highs to flip to turn the swing up like this. One, two, three. See three, and the third one, and then this month was the uh, outside month, and then one, two, three. Then the swing turns up. Same thing right there. See one, two, three. And you need three of them. So Bitcoin is still okay. Yeah, this is a disaster. I don't trade this stuff. I don't know. Ethereum. I know some people like Ethereum. Yeah, this is a broken monthly structure right there. Same thing here. Some of these stocks are just it's gonna take a. I wrote that thing the other day. Look at Microsoft. Yeah, you break monthly. Yeah, it it doesn't instantly flip. It takes a long time. Look at Microsoft. Broken monthly structure right there. Very weak. Same thing here with Netflix. Look at that. I was trying to play a freaking bounce. Fucking pig, man. It's crazy. Can't even catch a break. Look, 7 months. You know how many months it's gonna take for this structure to rebuild back again? These stocks have some they're damaged. It's done. Not like not done. Like they're cooked. I mean, it's not like they're never gonna go up. Of course it will, but it's gonna take a lot of time though. And you don't wanna lose monthly time frame. The weekly, I mean, we trade off. I trade off on a weekly, not a monthly. Monthly is gonna probably go on a vacation, go somewhere. This is what the most weekly are enough boring charts. These ones are gonna be crazy. See, these charts are all good. Like Apple, not Microsoft. Microsoft is, I think, with all the spending, it's the same thing here. Oracle, look at the disaster. 4 months of lower lows. Yeah, some charts are since November is when the market just literally went sideways. Here's the thing what I'm thinking. Okay, I can be wrong, but again, I'm not opinion based guys. Okay. All of these companies were dying for this AI. All companies that will whoever is gonna spend more money on this AI is the one who's gonna take a hit. This AI right now is fully baked into a market. Now people wants to see what results. So if companies are spending money, they're not gonna they just no, they're spending money. It's all capex spending. I just don't see this year is just for these stocks because the all the news was front end because you have to look at this way. None of these data centers are built. It's all promise. And how long is it going to take for these data centers to build? They're just signing deals. That doesn't mean like, well, yeah, I mean, it is the future. Correct. We got that. I mean, we got that boom, right? I mean, if you would have asked, if I look at this damage on some of these stocks, right, which I just showed you, Microsoft is a very important stock. Keep that thing in mind. Okay. That's like software company. I think software companies are, if you ask me, I think they're gonna be soon filing bankruptcies. I think this AI is the biggest threat to these software companies, but some probably don't real. But all these software companies think that AI is the one that we're gonna spend money into it, and they're the one is gonna we're gonna take them to a different level. But at the same time, they don't realize that AI can do all your work. We don't need you. It's more about memories, and I think it's more about hardware, what's going in. That's why the momentum right now is more hard toward the minerals, more toward the hardware side. Like like these white, like GLW, like Corning and stuff. Like like some of these chip stock, the memory or whatever hardware. Basically, it's not the actual full model. It's like those little small pocket of those sectors they're running right now because these big ones are cooling off. These companies are not really like Nvidia signed up a deal like we got lucky on that pop right there on the core weave or whatever that we cashed out that trade. It was a perfect timing. We opened the trade next day the news broke. Boom. The stock got like a 17, 18 point pop right there, right at the open. So you can't time that any better. It was what? The luck of a draw. I don't know. The news gonna come out tomorrow morning that Nvidia is gonna sign up a deal with CoreWeave, whatever. Yeah, the stock reacted, and right at the open, we cashed it out. Perfect. I wish these kind of a trades come more often, where you can just place the timing with news. But it's just like, to me, I think mm, it's too early to say about the overall market. I have a pretty good idea in a couple months where we're gonna be. Um, I called last year that's we're gonna end the year in wave four, and we did. We're still in a wave four if we talk about the Elliott wave. But at the same time, where do we end the year? I think it's gonna be the. No, yeah, I mean, I have an idea, but we are where? Let me see. We're right here. Okay. Um, this one gonna be suggesting. Let me just put some. You know, this check. You only have. I'm just gonna project it here. Okay, so that's this. So let's see if I can match here. So I'll do this. I'm just putting up a 7,500. 7,500 from here. Gonna be this show. So if I do this, like this. It's too early to say because we're just starting off, you know. We It's hard to see it down here because I need this thing to end. This is gonna come, so yeah, you just get ready. You be mentally ready for this damage. It's gonna come on everybody's way. When you have a complete 5 waves, yeah, you're gonna, by definition, by rule, and by every principle of Elliott wave, you're gonna have a 3-wave correction. There you go, 3-wave correction. 5 completed waves, 3-wave correction. 5 waves, 3-wave down. Each and every single time. So it's gonna take months. Yeah, it's early. Not yet, but there'll be a roadmap. If I had to lay it out there toward the 7,500 mark, bit of a setback, then take this thing up. But at the same time, we don't have our time cycle band given this number yet. We're not even close. Okay, so yeah, this is why I don't post these, you know, to everywhere. It's just there's no point for me to project it like this. It's absolutely nonsense. We just we have a price and we're gonna stay between there. I don't post that stuff on Twitter. Nobody needs to know. But we know where the price is, and we're gonna keep the time lock on it every single time. Okay, so you have one chart, it's not moving anyways. You have a signal, time, price. That's all we need. We need anything else. We can keep a longer term content for Elliott wave on a side to see what Elliott wave is great for a longer term anyways. Just to get this is the most accurate wave count you're ever gonna find on the entire Twitter. I can guarantee you that. Okay, nobody has that. Well, I'm pretty sure there's tons of them copied now, but nobody has ever had this since the April low, since we have it. I laid this thing out before anyone even figured this thing out. It's just the sequence of Elliott that most people just don't understand. Every 5 wave, there's a huge 3-wave correction. That 3-wave correction resolves right back into a 5-wave. That's just each cycle that continues. Every crash, every correction, every bear market is a 3-way move. Always been, and it always will. Market corrects lower in 3 waves, each and every single time. It's nothing new to it. It's just a sequence of Elliott wave. Remember I told you pull up a chart and just draw 2 largest correction? Any correction that you see since 1950 in the S&P is a correction of a 3-way move. April low, 3-way move, right there. Simple as that. Oops. Now this thing right there, how Elliott wave defines that, there's no other strategy in the world will show you that. That's the unique best part about Elliott. Elliott tells you like, okay, after 5 completed waves, there's a 3-wave correction. You know, Gann doesn't do that. Gann just continues the trend with the higher highs and higher lows as long as it goes. Right? He's looking for the swing lows. That's different. Timing wise, Gann is excellent with timing. Elliott wave this Ralph Nelson has not spent any time doing analyzing time frame. So Elliott comes in this way. This is why I'm always like on these wave counts is you have April low, Wave one, wave two, wave three, wave and five. Five completed waves, three wave correction. So the next five waves is going to complete on the next higher degree. What do you think is going to happen next? Three wave correction. You're coming back from here, completed five waves, three wave correction. What do you think? Look, here's the bear market 2022 low. Diagonal, three wave up, five waves down. It's a most easy zigzag. Five, three, five. A, B, and C. So the thing is this, you sit and like everybody's talking about is this. You have one bear market, you have April sell-off. What else do you have? That's it. This is the two largest correction. So where the largest correction happens? In when you have five completed waves. When the third one is gonna come here, when this five wave is gonna complete. Yeah, but you have to understand the one thing is how long does it take? How long does it took from 2005 to here? How many years? And here we are now. Oh, people want this to happen like this. You don't see a difference between this time and this time? Which side seems bigger? You see, I mean, the chart tells you everything, but people ignore how to read it right. That's the biggest problem. It doesn't mean that it has to run the exact course here as well. Okay, so you have a 27% here against 21% here. So from this one, we could do is, if I remember how to do all this, man. Here we can do, oops. God, now you're making me work all this advanced stuff, which I don't. It was 84 weeks from here to here. I think I got them right. Go up, man. Go up. So take this low to this high. And okay, that's 84. So this was 84 until that peak. Um, 21 came here. So I'm not saying that it has to go side by side. Put right here to April low. How far does it put you out? Until 2027. Just to measure, take two. I mean, we can go further back. I don't need to. Okay, you don't need uh, Give me like 2, 3 years. I can make a time and find you identical patterns. You know what I mean? I don't need to go 10 years. There's no comparison of 10 years in today's market, anyways. So these two right there, this run, which is the completed 5 waves, with this correction right, this you have a 27% decline here in 2022, and you have a 21% decline here on this side. Look how much time do you have? Any dip that's gonna come here, you buy the damn, we're gonna buy the market. But we're not gonna make our decisions based on, oh, when this gonna end, when that thing is gonna end. You simply follow this. This is gonna, this will keep you in a trend. This one will tell you when to exit the trend. Just follow this. That's all I'm gonna want. That's all I want. It's this. These are the mechanics. It has way more into it that where it actually confirms where the structure breaks, where it builds. Yeah, we're gonna start putting some downside risk. But I need some like one of these. Well, I want to buy puts here. I want to buy puts here. You know those people who do it every single day. They're the one who bleeding to death from the last 3 years by doing it, by sitting calling tops. This keeps you disciplined. Stick with the trend. Who cares? 1 week down, big deal. What do you think is gonna happen? Tell me what's gonna happen. The market sells off 1 week. But it defines one single week. It defines trend. 1, 2, 3 sessions defines trend. Absolutely not. You lose 2, 3 trades. What do you think is gonna happen? Are we gonna die? Tell me what's gonna happen. That's for some people. They're just so down and depressed because, oh, my position is right. I cannot see my board anymore. What the hell is going on? Like, market's punishing me, this and this. But if you start looking at the market, what it's actually doing, I mean, tech is in a full pause mode the last 3 months. There's absolutely no stock making new 52 weeks high. And right into earnings season, we want to buy, and well, I don't know where the upside is going to come from because the stock is literally waiting for earnings. You know, Novel position after once they're done to see what it is. Okay, I gotta go. We're gonna win most of the trades. I'm not worried about it. 2, 3 trades, that's fine. But as I said before, many times, market wants to take 30% of my money, fine. But I'm gonna take back 70% from you. That's my deal. And I'm not happy if I go below, if I keep the number below 70. It ain't gonna happen. I'm gonna keep it up like that way.
Mo?
Yeah, I gotta go. What?
Yeah, no, you had to go, but before you go, can you show us one last heart chart of silver, SLV? You showed it for gold, and I want to see it for SLV.
I did. Okay. Here. Oh, you weren't. I think you weren't in. Okay. Here, 91, 61, 54.
No, I'm not talking about toss chart. I'm talking about Hearst band chart.
It is the band.
Yeah, but it shows just a line. I want to see how much overshoot.
Oh, okay. You want to see it here. Oh, is it updated? Oh,
What
no.
what is what do you call this band chart so we can ask for the right thing when we're asking you more? What do
It's a
you
Hearst.
refer?
It's called a Hearst cycle.
Okay, okay, I got it. Okay.
It's a Hearst. Yeah, I've had them like made some kind of changes, you know. So I'm kind of like messing around a little, messing around a little bit to keep them at a certain settings, because by By default, yeah, you're gonna have, but you just gotta play around a little bit. So I'm always, so I have,
So,
yes,
Mo, does this go? How far does this go? Because, this time this overshoot looks so extreme. But, back in 2011, silver had the, extreme overshoot too. So I'm looking at, the wave count. It has the, still the wave three is not ended, but I'm not sure how. I think a house cycle chart is um very useful to check the upside projection based upon Elliott, wave count is realistic or not.
well, I know what you're saying. Silver, I think Jay asked me or whatever. This is the same wave count. We're not gonna change that. We're just gonna keep it the way it is. I mean, there's no downside confirmation is confirmed until we get a sell signal on the weekly side. That's one thing. Okay, we don't have it yet. We only had a huge shakeout just for one day. Okay, this thing can reverse to next week. We don't know that. Okay, absolutely don't. So we did this one. I don't know what date was that. So it's the same wave count now that we're in from here, 44, whatever it was. Um, we're gonna see if this fourth wave will behave. No, the new one. Jeez. If this fourth wave right there will manage to behave right in here. If that would be the case, it's not going to be an easy one to trade because the fourth wave, yeah, we're in the fourth wave right now. Qs, we'll see how that thing is working out. I don't think that this fourth wave is starting yet because we don't have, you know, because this fourth wave right there will take minimum this much time, and that's a lot of time. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. So when you have a huge move like this, there's a very good chance that thing this will might go into some sort of a triangle.
So, Mo, my point is that, can you go back to 2011 on first cycle chart for silver? Because, we had quite a spike back then, and then I want to see how the her cycle changed.
And is here's 2011. Yeah, but it shifted over time, so you cannot you look
So
at the
it looks
whole.
it looks this time the overshoot is really, really extreme.
Correct. Because the price has, look how much it went up, 277%. We don't have that kind of a swing range here before, see 85 and stuff. So so the swing went up, but it did not exceed to this kind of a 277 level. So this is extreme move. So that kind of extreme move usually reset that. It was an overshoot for 3 weeks, 1, 2, and 3. Now look where it closes, right at the 75.44. So we'll check on Monday and see how it looks. But again, I don't think it's going to change much.
Do we have
Mhm.
a GLD back in all the way back to 2011 too?
Yeah, but you're looking at, you don't, here's the thing is, what you're looking back here has been shifted ever since. It's not going to match though.
Yeah, but my
You're
point
trying
is
to see the over.
after such a spike, it looks like the band plateaued
Correct.
rather than, going further up.
Yeah, I mean, right, this he went sideways and then just made his way. I mean, the gold and silver is definitely on a clear uptrend. There is absolutely no denial. but gold has upside. I wouldn't gold has. So I'm keeping both of them here same way. Same thing here. Gold has upside. Same 1, 2, 3. So I'm trying to see if this is 1, 2, 3, 4 is to complete this third wave. So the third wave right there, basically at 200% is at 566. We passed 439. So third can end anywhere. Then this beauty is gonna come. So now the debate is either we fighting this first to make one more move, or the third just enters here and then we're slowly starting this.
So if the GLD breaks down below that yellow zone, would you move
Correct.
larger degree 3 to the smaller degree 3 and then wait for already started?
Correct. Because if this one doesn't behave, like if it gets like too big, okay, I would move this third here and leave and open up the fourth wave. Okay. So the question now is the debate right now, because it's too early to make a call, is either this or this. Which fourth is this? Smaller degree, because we're still gonna complete with one more push to complete the third, or the third ended here and we're starting this. So it's a guess game right now, right? When you have this kind of this is where it confuses people where we are, you know? So you just like second guessing, like, okay, are we in a smaller fold or are we going in a bigger fold? As the top is in or no? You see, they got 10,000 different thoughts running in your head. But I don't, this is why I don't rely on this thing. Okay, we rely on our signals. Signals will tell us when the structure breaks. Structure has not broken. Well, I'm not gonna do that. So I'm not gonna open up a larger fourth wave because of one outside weekly candle. Means
So that huge weekly outside reversal bar on silver
it's a sign.
on Monday, doesn't that sell signal trigger?
Mm-mm.
Because it's so huge.
I don't think on a GAN it did anything. Probably on a similar. Oh, yeah. Well, there was one here. There you go. There's actually one here a week before. That's why this thing engulfed. It did took out this low as well. I didn't check. Could have asked me these things before. 81 was broken. This one was sell signal here. Let's see the buy one. That's the weak one. This one lasted only 2 weeks. Yeah, these are totally, these are swing signals. The same thing with gold. Gold and silver will match. In order to flip the swing down, we need 2 more weeks of lower lows. So next week, price needs to break below 430. So that will mark 1, 2, and then in another week you need another week lower low. You need 3 in a row to flip the weekly swing down. And I don't think gold usually gives that fast. There's too many buyers in gold, so it's just too early. But South Signal definitely did some of the work.
But didn't the market kind of got assurance that the new Fed chair,
Yeah, people are
Kevin Warsh,
yeah,
is
people are
going? He's an advocate of a lower interest rate. And at least, even though he is well connected with, Trump, because he is married to a billionaire heir of Estee Lauder.
Hmm.
Um, so um, market is a kind of, felt, you know, risk of, what's going to happen, with what Fed is going to do in the future. They kind of felt, relieved. And the gold was really pushing because of the, those uncertainties.
He wanted to bring a guy that he can keep him as a puppet and he can run the show. That's exactly
Um,
what it's going to be.
no, I don't know. I don't know.
Because all this time, they always make it sound like, hey, Fed is independent. There's no political view. They have the voting members. They vote. They get to decide about the, interest rate, this and that. He doesn't like it because we're too late. It's hurting our economy. People cannot buy homes. Lending is just, that kind of thing. So it's like um now he wants. Okay, I'm gonna shut the video and then I'm gonna. You need to. Stop